Do do. I was enjoying that.
I'll hold my hand up and say, I approve. It's near to manage that's not good. The BBC guy, the army do, when they say so, things like that. Hold his hand up and holding my hand up now to say, I listen to you. That's why I don't do it anymore. But I'm going to go to a football match, full press conference. It doesn't make sense to go there. We know there where they want to go out and one of the hard things is work. They're still dangerous. They're still dangerous on the road.
The ghost of David Leatherdale.
Well, I hope it's better than the real thing.
You're alright. You can go in with a mask on as long as it's distant.
I remember you. Didn't you once score? I saw your debut at Folkestone.
You did, yeah.
I was in '88. They never played there again, yeah.
That's what happened. That was a mistake, man. I don't know you. So you staying here for a bit? Harry? You alright, mate? Well, whenever David's free, I've got a meeting at 11 o'clock. He wants to do a walk around with you.
Yeah, is Tom coming?
Yeah, Tom's coming, but he'll be a bit later. But David's...
Oh, I mean, 11ish would be great for me. Yeah, perfect.
Certainly, I'm around for long all day, so whatever.
Are you going to be in the boardroom?
Yeah, and then he's going to use board 9 at 11.
Okay.
So after you finish with it,
Yeah.
he's playing board 9. You join in on the board. Otherwise, actually, to be honest, stay in the boardroom. If you want to do some more, go to 9. But you can stay in the boardroom. It's a simple experience. Okay. Yeah. Wherever you want.
I can get you 11. Okay.
You stay in some chat with us, and then John Curtis will bring you back up to the boardroom. You might go through some serious questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
What do you want?
I can hear you. Which one is your assessment?
Okay, down the line, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We've got a lot to do. Got that? Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Dad is rich and your mum is good looking, so hush little baby, don't you cry.
That sounds awesome, mate.
Okay.
Just wanted to remind you my conference.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a bit of an update to do for Hereford and Worcester, so you'll hear that as well, but I'll keep that down. Alright.
Sorry, Carrie's just now.
Cheers.
Oh, during lunch, you turn it off as well, please.
Yes, okay, yeah, no trouble, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.
Bye. Hello there. I'm very well. How are you? Thanks, mate. If you could, please. Thank you very much. Well, you've just done a Naga Manchetti. You've answered the question in the question. Yeah, I think you're right, mate. You know, if Worcestershire could bat on a bit this morning and yeah, get another 50, 60 runs. Good day's cricket yesterday. Enjoyed it yesterday. Worcestershire 140 without loss. So the morning session went to them. Nottinghamshire hit back with some good bowling in the afternoon session, and then after tea, Ed Barnard and Alzari Joseph started to pop it around a bit, and they put on some very useful runs to take Worcestershire to 305 for 7. What do they put on? Oh, that's beyond my maths. 89 they've put on so far for the Worcestershire 8th wicket. So yeah, tat on this morning. Wicket seemed to be turning a little bit. Yes, it didn't sort of turn in the opposite direction to the one it was in when we started, but there was a little bit of spin there. And here's a thing, Malcolm. Here's a thing, right? St George's Day today. Happy St George's Day. No flag on Worcester Cathedral. No, there you are. There's one of your Malk's miracles. There's a Malk's miracle. You can do that today. But by the time you finish, get the flag on Worcester Cathedral. There's your task for the day. There you go. I don't know why. We do, yeah. I mean, they usually put the flags up. Black Country Day and Saints Days, but no flag up there today. So I'll leave that with you. Oh, we will. Yeah, yeah. It'll all be there, and you can watch the pictures as well, which I find very exciting. A friend of mine, he rang me last night. He was just overcome with excitement that he could watch the pictures from New Road as well as hear our wonderful commentary. So there we are. All things are possible. Cheers, mate.
Hi Gordon, I'm not ringing for anything.
We're hoping to find out. Good to see you. Yes, you. Morning, JP. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing? All right.
Yeah, we did as well, yeah.
Alright, good morning and welcome to New Road for the second day of the county championship match between Worcestershire and Nottinghamshire. Worcestershire resuming on 305 for 7. I'm Dave Bradley. Alongside me is my very good friend Dave Bracegirdle.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, everybody. Happy St George's
Happy
Day.
St George's Day. Although, shock horror probe exclusive, there is no St George's flag flying from the mast on top of Worcester Cathedral. We have
maybe the lift's broken.
We yeah, he probably got up this morning and thought, we'll give them 210. Oh hello. Oh, it's all right. That's working. Yeah. Yes, so we don't know why, but we've actually got people trying to find out and trying to get it fixed. That's the power that we have.
Well, it's a bank holiday, isn't it?
It should be.
Should be.
Oh, don't antagonise.
We'll
still be going on about this at 6:30 if you kick me off. Good day's cricket yesterday, Dave.
Very much so, yes. It was certainly Worcestershire's morning. Nottinghamshire fought back in the afternoon, but as so often has been their nemesis, a late order partnership towards the end of the day has tilted it back towards the opposition, and in this particular case the opposition being Alzari Joseph and Ed Barnard. That was a very a watchful, a cautious but very important stand of 89 that they put together towards the end of the day, because not so right back in it, 216 for 7, they could probably claim that they were just slightly ahead on the day, but 305 for 7 just about even Stevens. You know, we've spoken to 2 or 3 of the players, and they all say what a fabulous batting wicket it is. So really, really important that Notts can knock over these 3 wickets this morning and then make a positive contribution with the bat.
It's always big. The second morning of a match. I know in golf they say the 3rd round is moving day, they call it, but I think the second morning of a county championship cricket match is a right one. And the first hour at Worcester, they always reckon that the pitch does a bit. So, as you say, if Notts can knock over these last 3 Worcestershire wickets fairly cheaply, they'll think they've done a decent job, I think. But if Worcestershire can bat on and get another, 50, 60? They'll think they've done a decent job as well.
Well, there's the bonus point situation as well. Of course, we had 96 overs yesterday. Worcestershire 305 for 7. So that will be in play for the first 14 overs of the day. You just wonder if Alzari Joseph might just fancy, we need 400 skip, leave it to me sort of attitude, or whether Notts will be able to again get rid of him early on and get maximum bowling points.
He batted very responsibly yesterday, didn't he? Yeah. Because we all think he's going to go out there and play some Caribbean style, whack it all over the place, but no, he didn't. Played some good cricket. So umpires are out there. Teams, this is some alphabetically for Notts. Zach Chappell, Joe Clark, Ben Duckett, Luke Fletcher, Hasib Hamid, Lyndon James, Tom Moore, Stephen Mullane as the skipper, Dane Patterson, Liam Patterson White and Ben Slater. And Worcestershire are Darryl Mitchell, Jake Libby, Tom Fell, Gareth Roderick, Brett D'Oliveira, Ricky Vessels, Ben Cox, Ed Barnard, Alzari Joseph, Joe Leech and Charlie Morris.
And that's because you've written Nottinghamshire down alphabetically and Worcestershire down in scorecard order.
That's what was on the website, and that's near enough for me. As long as they're all out there. As long as they're right, they've got nice bright numbers on.
If Notts bat in the order that you've put them, Ben Slater coming in at 11, the tail might just a little bit.
He might get injured and come in as a
he may well do.
As a late replacement.
Just about ready. The cathedral bells are chiming, I believe.
They are. And the best bowler yesterday for Nottinghamshire was Luke Fletcher, and he's going to open the bowling today. No great surprise. From the Diglis end, right arm over, bowls to Joseph, down the leg side. There's an appeal for a stumping. Good work there by Tom Moores, because as we all know, Luke Fletcher is no slouch when he's flinging it down, and he was very quickly across on the leg side, whipped the bails off. No response from umpire Warren.
I'm sure he'd have you believe it was a plan, but a leg side delivery first ball. He was very complimentary for Tom Moores. He said it's not often he's had too many wickets caught behind with the keeper standing up over his career. I thought Tom did very well yesterday.
Here is Fletcher steaming in again, and Joseph gets a run down to backward square on the leg side. Not sure that's where he was exactly aiming, but that's where the ball went. So one more to the total, goes to 306 for 7. Yes, he was quite amusing, wasn't he? You know better than me how amusing Luke Fletcher is. But
what was the turning point in the day? Jerk chicken for lunch.
Somebody said to him, "Well, you bowled a lot better after lunch." Oh, the jerk chicken. Well done, the chef. Yeah. Looks on the brighter side of life and enjoys his.
It's interesting that Notts have gone with him, actually, because as you say, he was the best bowler yesterday, but he didn't open yesterday morning with the new ball.
He's in and bowls here, and Ed Barnard is forward defensively, pushes the ball away on the offside. Ben Duckett is the fielder. Bullet the dog is in full voice this morning.
The pigeon is cooing as well.
I've seen the pigeon this morning.
Yeah, well, it's up here cooing away. Looks very much as if Zach Chappell is going to share the new ball. He's down here below us at third man, just getting himself nice and loose.
I've got to do something into a news bulletin very shortly, so if you hear me rambling on, that's what's going to happen. Next ball is pushed away, offside, just backward of square. Ben Slater is the fielder there. But backroom staff have not stationed themselves in the stands as yet this morning. Welcome, listeners on DAB and FM with the news that Worcestershire have added 1 run this morning there, 306 for 7. That 1 run going to Alzari Joseph, so he moves on to 47. If Worcestershire are going to get full batting points, they've really got to get a step on. They've got to get another 94 runs in 13 overs and 2 balls. In fact, there's another run there down to third man for Ed Barnard. But these two came together last night on 216 for 7. They have taken the total on in the first over of the day to 307 for 7. That was a little dab down to third man. I did wonder if that was a bye, but to be 100% honest, I missed the umpire's signal. So there we are. Honesty, as my granddad used to say, is the best policy. Just before the judge sent him down. Here's Fletcher's next ball, and Joseph plays very straight to this one. Nice clump off the bat into the covers. Joe Clark is the fielder there. That completes the first over of the day, and at the end of it, Worcestershire have added 2 runs, 307 for 7 they are. That wasn't a bye because I've just watched it replayed. You can follow the game with the pictures as well. We are on the radio, on the BBC Sport website, on the apps, on the platforms, whatever you want to call them. But also you can follow the pictures on the websites of the 2 competing teams. Go on the Nottinghamshire website, Worcestershire website, and there you will find pictures of the game. Not pictures, but moving pictures of
a
the
live
game.
stream, I think is
live.
the...
That's the phrase I was searching for there, mate. Yeah, it's there. And it's going to be Mr. Chappell to open up.
It is indeed. Zachary, 6'4". Officially, looks a bit taller because he's got his bowling boots on. Gives him another inch or 2, and he comes from our end of the ground and bowls to Ed Barnard, who just helps it into the offside for a single. Barnard onto 42, Joseph on 47. I think we did the basic sums at the start of the day, and Worcestershire would have to go at 6.8 and over to get maximum batting points. I wouldn't be out of the question, I guess, if maybe Alzari Joseph went after the bowling and stuck around for 3/4 of an hour, but you'd imagine, Dave, they're just going to look to bat as long as they can, accumulate what they can, and try and take it to knots with the ball.
Yeah.
Here is Chappell. 2 men in at catching short mid-wicket for Joseph. This is short from Chappell, and Joseph certainly went after that. He found it dug in short and rearing up towards his helmet, and he had a vigorous hook at it, but didn't get anything on it. 2 men out on the hook, one at long leg, one at deep backward square. And aside from all that, I think Alzari Joseph has just had a good long look at Zach Chappell and just made a mental note. I owe you one, pal. No fast bowlers union here.
You're the tallest bloke in the team, I remember you.
Here is Chappell. Past umpire Russell Warren, and this is just nudged out on the onside. A Seba Mead doing the fielding, and down on his knees he lobs the ball back to Tom Moores. Apart from St George's Day, of course, we were talking about Shakespeare as well. And
good old Shaky.
It's a strange old thing, isn't it? Because he was born on this day and also died on this day.
Yeah, died on the 23rd of... not the same year. 23rd of April. Yeah, well, there can't be many people who've done that. What do you got? 365 to 1 chance of doing it, I suppose.
Here is Zach Chappell in again. This is hit very firmly. It was a real old clump up to mid-on, with Dane Patterson wearing a white floppy sun hat. I think that's the first time we've seen him do that. Probably a sign of how the weather's improved. Or a cap last week. Yeah, Shakespeare 1564 to 1616, so 3646. On his 52nd birthday he died. But just imagine if they were the rules for life, Dave, that you leave this world on the same day, in the calendar as you came into it. It'd make for an interesting year, wouldn't it, as Joseph goes after this. He's taken the aerial route down the ground, and one bounce, but only just one bounce short of the ropes, and he gets his half century, his first in Worcestershire colours, and obviously his first here at New Road. Very nicely played, lifted it up and away, and very, very straight down the ground. Dane Patterson chasing, but the ball was within about 18 inches, 2 foot of going all the way. Lovely shot.
Yeah, and didn't seem any effort, did it?
No.
There wasn't a slog, just played into the line of the ball. Oh, I've got a list of people who bored and died on there, Bill.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Raphael, good lad. The Renaissance
he was one of the
painter.
Ninja Turtles.
He was, he was, yeah.
Zach Chappell, past umpire Warren bowls, and this is played out onto the offside end of the over. 312 for 7 Worcestershire. They began the morning on 305, so they've added 7 in 2 overs. Who else have you got?
Well, George Francis Barnes, aka Machine Gun Kelly, he died on his 59th birthday. Who else?
What did he do for a living?
He was.
Was he in one of the famous gangs,
No, I
Jesse
think he
James
was.
gang or something like
Yeah,
that? Or was he later Al
I think
Capone and
he
all that
was,
sort of
yeah,
stuff?
he was Prohibition. Saxophonist Sidney Bechet, don't know him. Swede Risberg, apparently, who was looks like he was a baseball player. Oh, Mel Street, I've heard of him, country singer. Oh, Ingrid Bergman, there we are. We've all heard of old Ingrid.
These have all died on the same day
Died
in
on their
the calendar that
birthday,
they were
yeah.
born on. So
One or two of the others are not that well known. Back to the cricket. Here's Fletcher bowling, Barnard batting, Duckett fielding. Scorer puts a little dib. Mike Douglas, I remember him. He was a singer, wasn't he? He was born and died on the same day. Who's this? Oh, Merle Haggard. Now we've heard of him.
Merle?
Merle, good old Merle. Died on his 79th birthday. That's about all the really famous ones.
Alzari Joseph, 89 balls, 6 fours and a 6, with his first 50 in the colours of Worcestershire.
Here's the next ball, which is pushed away on the offside. Once again, Fletcher starting with that very tight line. Bowled really, he's 45 off 24. Yesterday he was going well for a run and over in his first effort, and really came on and put the brakes on Worcestershire after Libby and Mitchell had got them off to a decent start. Put a bit of pressure back on. Yeah, so that ends your history lesson for today, folks. we may delve into something a bit later.
I've got a cricketing birthday, and it's somebody we mentioned yesterday.
Next ball from Fletcher is played back up the pitch. Bowler himself with a little flick of the heel and diverts it into the path of Duckett, who does the fielding. No run.
Luke Ronchi, or Ronchi, he's 40 today. We talked about him yesterday as being a dual international. He did just play white ball internationals for Australia, but then played tests for New Zealand. He's 40 today. I think he had a little spell with Warwickshire. I think one year Notts went to Edgbaston in a T20, and he gave it a bit of tap. But I don't think he's played too much in the county game over here, has he?
No, we always used to get his name wrong, didn't we? Because it didn't look as if it was spelt Ronky. Here's the next ball, which is played back down the pitch again. This time Fletcher doesn't bother to pick it up, but his skipper Mulaney comes away from mid-off to do that. He's
one of the breed of wicket keepers who open the batting. I guess the Adam Gilchrist syndrome, isn't it?
That was, Gilchrist really did.
Yeah.
You and I can remember when wicket keepers batted 10 and 11. You never certainly never batted above 9 in the old days.
Talking about Worcestershire's Rodney Cass, Nottinghamshire's Dave Pullen.
Yeah.
They would have been down towards the lower order.
Fletcher's in again, and this time forward defensively. Comes Ed Barnard. Yeah, you were in the team to keep wicket, and if you got a few runs, it was a bonus. I suppose, in my memory, here it was Roy Booth. We started to come in at 7.
Would Cass have been as low as that?
No, I think he was a decent bat, Rodney Cass. But I think we're looking more probably 50s, late 50s, when people just kept wicket, and that was it. Away goes Fletcher, 312 for 7 here at Worcestershire. He's in and he bowls, and Barnard cuts away through the offside. And only get a single because Joe Clark is hovering on the cover point boundary. So one more to the total, 312 for 7 And Dame Patterson has confused the issue by wearing a floppy hat today, because yesterday Joe Clark was the only person in a floppy hat, so he's messed up our charts. 313 for 7. Fletcher has taken 2 for 46 from 25 overs. Alzari Joseph has 51. Ed Barnard has 43. And these two are 3 runs away from a century stand.
No alarms as yet for either of the batsmen. Stephen Mullaney just tinkering with his field a little bit. Luke Fletcher disappearing off down towards third man. There was I can't remember it. I better find it before I try and misquote it. There was a great line written about Fletcher. Performance yesterday.
Yeah.
Here is Zach Chappell starting a new over, and this is it into the offside, into the cover region. He had a decent enough day yesterday, Luke Fletcher. Perhaps not on reflection, missed a bit of a trick with him not opening the bowling. He really did tighten things up when he came on. Got a couple of wickets. But he also ran out Brett D'Oliveira, and the esteemed cricket journalist Paul Edwards, who's here writing for Cricinfo, mentioned the Fletcher direct hit in his match report, obviously, and there was a great line, which I'll give you after this. Chappell ball, bowls, and Barnard defends. He mentioned that he obviously ran D'Oliveira out with a direct hit, and then set off running with his arms waved towards the cathedral. And then he followed that up with, perhaps he thought God would like to exchange a few high fives with an equal. Sorry if that offends our more religious listeners, but there's obviously humour in it, and there was plenty of humour from Luke when he was talking about the moment. He said he felt sorry for Brett D'Oliveira. In a way, as Chappell is in and bowls. This time it's dropped on the leg side, and that he's joined an exclusive club, a club of 2. 3 or 4 years ago he ran out Nick Brown of Essex with a direct hit at Chelmsford, and now there's an exclusive club of just Nick Brown and Brett D'Oliveira, those that he's run out in his career. It's a good bit of work, actually, and
it was.
You see the lads that were doing it again this morning.
They practice it.
Throw in and shy in, and they're all having a go, a little game between them. The senior players and the younger players, I think they'd sort of split them up as. But a good bit of work, and it paid off yesterday. Yeah,
they actually practice catching the ball on the rope these days, don't they?
There's Zach Chappell. And obviously also practice fielding off your own bowling, because that was good work by Chappell. He's a big man, as Brad has already mentioned, and he just got down there quickly, otherwise that would have been through and away for 4 more.
Our friend Paul Edwards, who's a very good writer, we were at Southport from Lancashire, Worcestershire, and the ball did go down to third man quite a few times, and he said that the fielding position of third man was as deserted as the Highlands after the clearances, which I thought was a great line. Very funny. Morning to Propster, who's listening this morning. Morning, Propster.
313 for 7. Zach Chappell, 5th ball of this over, dug in short, and Barnard, I think he resisted the temptation to go fully at it. He got into a position to try and play the pull, but then it just went a little higher than he anticipated. Games going on all up and down the country. Expected to be a nice day everywhere. 18, 19 degrees, they say, in this part of the world. So I don't know what you do. I double it and add 28. So if it's 19, that's 38, 50, that's 66 degrees. So it's not a boiling hot day, but it's pleasant.
I do remember that one. 19 is 66, and 18... No, that can't be right. Anyway.
Is Chappell, final ball of this over, and Barnard will get back on strike by taking a single from the final ball, clipping it out to former Worcestershire top order batsman Joe Clark. Squad number 33, end of the over, 314 for 7.
28 is 82. There you go, turn those two around. Those are the only ones I remember. And 1966, we all remember.
Oh, I didn't... you see, you could have saved me then if I'd remembered that one. 19 is 66, just from the World Cup or what have you. I know it's not strictly correct, but I always go along with double it and have 28, and
Yeah.
you get some sort of idea.
You get an idea of what it's like. It's the one on your car that gets me,
Mm.
because I think they're about as accurate as me putting my finger out the front room window.
A bit of noise from somewhere. I don't know if it's. I thought it was a tannoy at first, but I don't think it is.
No. Here's Luke Fletcher coming into bowl, just tapped away on the offside. I think it's somebody nattering down in front of us. Don't you come
How
in.
dare they?
How dare they? Nattering. So when you get a crowd in, there's just like a buzz
hubbub,
atmosphere,
yeah.
yeah. But when you get one or two people sat down in front of us talking,
And it echoes a bit under here, doesn't it?
oh yeah.
In the concourse.
Anyway, we can't see anybody, so we can't admonish them. 314 for 7 here at Worcestershire, and early indications are, as we suspected, they're just going to bat as long as possible and not chase the full bonus points. Here's the next ball, which is whipped away by Barnard for a single, so that takes it to 315. So 35 runs needed for another batting bonus point, which would be the 4th, and they have got 9 overs after this one to get them. So they'd be disappointed if they didn't get to that, I would have thought.
Something else I've got here in my what happened on this day, and Anthony Hartill has tweeted in about the same thing. Dave, on this day, and you can see here I've got it written down, 2013. On this day, Chris Gale registered the fastest century, 100 from 30 balls in the IPL. Royal Challengers Bangalore. Good old boss of the universe, he said.
Next ball is driven by Joseph. That's a nice shot. That's full penneth. Stephen Mullaney is jogging to fetch the ball back. Now that's, as I say, as with the ball he smashed down the ground, Joseph, there's no massive backlift and it's not a huge heave. It's just a good shot. That brings up the century partnership between these two. 103 they've now put on. That's a lovely shot.
It is.
Bloody
That's more a shot of a West Indian top order batsman than a West Indian fast bowler.
Yeah.
Really lovely shot.
I said Viv Richards would have been proud of that, but he'd probably hit it through mid-wicket. Because most things went through there.
And Greenwich wouldn't have played one like that until he started hobbling.
No.
Then he would he would go after you.
If he comes out limping, you're in trouble. Alzara Joseph goes to 55. Highest score in first class cricket is, I think it's 85, isn't it? He got in the test match.
See Greenwich a time or two. Obviously, I'm good friends with Franklin Stevenson. You've done a bit of commentary with Franklin Stevenson, haven't you?
Yeah. Fletcher in again, and this time driven, but straight to Mullaney. I say straight to. He had to go to his left a little bit, and that was going at a rate of knots. So a good stop by the Nottinghamshire skipper.
Yeah, one year at Trent Bridge he was in the country and came and joined in the commentary with Bradders, but he's obviously big chums with Gordon Greenwich and play a lot of golf together. So if ever I'm with Frankie, Gordon's not far away.
Yeah, quite a character. Was he the last man to do the double?
He was. He'll have that forever.
Is Fletcher in and whipped away down through backward square. He might get 4 for that. That's, again, very well timed by Alzari Joseph. Flick of the wrist. There's 2 men out there. There's a man at fine leg and a square leg. Patterson and James out there, but they couldn't cut it off. Joseph goes to 59. The total goes to 323 for 7.
Where are we with regards to overs? What's this, the 101st?
Yeah, this will be the 102nd after this ball. 102 completed.
Yep.
Fletcher bowls, dabbed away, down to third man. Should only be a single. Zach Chappell comes in from that position to field. Lobs the ball into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. The umpire's very keen yesterday that some players were throwing the ball into the ground before it got to the keeper, when it would have been quite easy to throw it in on the full. So it's something that umpires are being very very pernickety with this season. No, pernickety is probably not the right word, but
it's a good word.
Yeah, but in the wrong context. I've got lots of good words that are in the wrong context. What word did we have yesterday? We said, we should use that more often. Gone, it's gone, that was yesterday. I loved you yesterday, but yesterday is gone.
324 for 7, the home side. First match of the season here at New Road. Beautiful New Road. Looks an absolute picture of Zach Chappell comes roaring in once again to bowl to Alzari Joseph, 24-year-old Antiguan, who pushes this into the offside. Fielded at point, no run. Joseph on 60 now, Barnard on 45. And you just wonder if he's been acquainted with the bonus point situation and whether he does fancy getting his new county up to the 400.
Yeah, the motor on.
Seabermead in catching at short mid-wicket. Chapel bowls to Joseph down the leg side and let that go through. Must have been fairly wide, that one. Otherwise,
playing a lot of one-day cricket.
Well, he just needed to put a tickle on it,
Yeah.
and it would have been a certain boundary. Well down the leg side. Fair amount of noise from Notts this morning, as you'd imagine. They had a couple of huddles at the end of the warm-up, and another one as they took the field of play. Just want to set the right tone at the start of the day here as Chapel bowls to Alzari Joseph, whose main role, I guess, today will be with the ball, but anything he can add now will very much be a bonus.
I do wonder sometimes what they say in the huddle every day.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 a day before every session.
It can sometimes maybe be a little bit stale if you've heard it all before.
Yeah.
I guess that's the mark of a good captain, to keep it fresh, or coach, or make, I think from time to time they sort of delegate another player, don't they? The player of the day to do it. Come up with some inspirational words, some Churchillian words, as Joseph pushes this into the offside. Of course, Joseph with his last single has overtaken Darryl Mitchell, who was out for 59 yesterday. So Joseph, second top scorer behind Jake Libby, who also came out and spoke to the massed ranks of the press last night. Lovely lad, isn't he?
Yeah,
Absolutely
very, and quite eloquent as well.
Yeah.
Because he speaks well. He answered our mundane press questions with some amount of enthusiasm.
3:24 for 7. Chapel to Joseph Shorten again. He's gone on the pull, and that's got through Tom Moores. And let's have a look. Leg by. So what did that come off? Shoulder. He's tapped his shoulder. Look, Alzari Joseph. So that deflection took it away from Tom Moores and away over the ropes for 4 leg bys. It's a quick delivery, and he went quite viciously at it, Joseph, and brushed the shoulder on its way past Tom Moores and away. 3:28 for 7. Nice to hear Jake as well. I acknowledge that there was more on this game than normally. You very often hear, oh well, it was just another game, just another 3 points or whatever is the usual football patter, isn't it? As this is pushed into the cover region, fielded by Lyndon James, who as yet still hasn't had a bowl in this innings. 3:28 for 7, but very much obviously enjoyed playing against some of his former teammates yesterday, so there was quite a bit of chatter out there, but very much enjoyed his contest with Fletch, and they were both sort of sniping at each other all day long, really, just having a little bit of a laugh out there.
We have a sanitation. Yeah, we had 6 overs this morning. We have, yes. So we're having we're rubbing the hands with the alcohol hand sanitizer, which happens every 6 overs in all forms of cricket. I'm pleased to see local lads were doing it last week before. It's good.
Yeah, 2 years ago, you just couldn't have imagined, could you?
Oh, no.
What county cricket would be stopping play every 6 overs for them all to run off to the boundary edge to cleanse their hands.
There'll be no crowd in. Fletcher in bowls, and this is a bit skew-if from Ed Barnard. He was driving down the ground, it's squeezed away through mid-wicket for a single. 329 for 7.
Well, this was the thing with last Saturday. They've been playing cricket at Trentbury since 1838, is it? The Nottingham Forest were formed in 1865, Notts County a little earlier, and last Saturday between 12:30 and 2:30 was the first time that all three were playing at the same time.
Next ball is in the air, down the ground. In fact, it's not in the air, it's driven along the ground. I thought he got that one away in the air, and Mulaney was out there, but picks up a single down to long on. So they were all at home on the same day.
They were all at home on Saturday, but
yeah.
In the past, obviously, the cricket and Notts County have been playing, the cricket and Forest have been playing, and this last winter there's been a couple of occasions when both the football matches were at the same time. But with crowds allowed in, it just doesn't happen for a variety of reasons, a variety of obvious reasons. But they were all at home last Saturday.
Fletcher in bowls, pushed it back down the pitch, no run. I think I heard, because on Grand National Day, Liverpool were at home, which is unusual, not unique but unusual. And I'm sure, because I was listening to it on the way back from somewhere, I'm sure the commentator said it was the first time this season that Liverpool had kicked off at 3 o'clock on a Saturday at home, which just shows they play every day of the week and every hour of the day.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite a good statistic. Somebody's parked their car right where the sun's
glinting, isn't it?
Shine off it. Thank you very much for that. Here's the next ball, which is pushed away on the offside. No run. Nice to see former Worcestershire player and Chief Executive David Leatherdale here today. Lives down in Cornwall these days. Yeah, nice to see him wandering around the place this morning in good health, and says to say hello to everybody.
McNeil's on the ground as well.
Oh, is he?
Seen him have a wander around this morning whilst they were doing their warm-ups. I don't think he was here yesterday. He did get in touch with me to pull me up on one subject.
Fletcher in and bowls and played out towards mid-on. These two continue in this excellent stand for with 114 now, 330 for 7. Joseph 61, Barnard on 46.
I did say that Matt Carter. Who's the other one? Joey Everson and Tom Barber would be the acting 12th men for Notts today, and he quickly came on to me, Mick. I presume he was at Lady Bay watching the seconds, because he said, no, Tom Barber's here at Lady Bay.
Can't be in two places at once. No. Fletcher in and bowls, and goes wide of the off stump. I'm due to do an update into a radio programme very shortly to tell them what's been happening in the first half an hour here, and not a lot really, very little. 12th man Everson is on for Nottinghamshire, and looks to me as if Ben Duckett has gone trooping off the field for a reason that I know not. So Zach Chappell to continue. Fletcher's figures 27 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 56. And here is Zach Chappell, New Road End. Going to be bowling to Alzari Joseph with a very spread field. No close catcher. Long on is on the boundary, where long on would be. Is Chappell bowls, and Joseph in the air, and he's gone, caught. The ball looks as if it just stopped on him and hit it straight to Joe Clark, who was at a very straight mid-on, sort of almost level. So Alzari Joseph goes, the first wicket of the morning goes down, and Worcestershire are 330 for 8. That stand worth 114 between Ed Barnard and Alzari Joseph. But good start with the bat by Joseph for Worcestershire. He's got some runs in the last game at Derby, got 46 and 4, and here he's going off with 61 to his name. Court Clark, Bold Chapel. As you can tell, I'm talking and writing at the same time, which is a great skill, I think. One that I don't normally master. So, can Notts now polish off Worcestershire? Joe Leech, the Worcestershire skipper, on his way in. No mug with the bat, it has to be said. A man with a first-class century to his name. Strides towards the middle. If anybody was wanting me to do a radio update, we do. I was going to say, I need to have some cue. And Worcestershire just lost their first wicket of the day. A fine stand of 114 between Alzari Joseph and Ed Barnard has been broken. Joseph the man to go. A couple of lovely shots this morning. Crisp four through the covers stays in the memory. But then he's lobbed the ball back to Joe Clark, who was stood at a very straight mid-on position off the bowling of Zach Chappell. He's gone for 61. But Ed Barnard is still there. He's on 46. Skipper Leech has just come in. Worcestershire are 330 for 8. Leech takes guard. 3 yellow vested, are they? I'll never know if they're yellow or just a bright green vested stewards stand on the far side watching Zach Chappell coming in to bowl to Joe Leech. Leech very solidly in behind that one and plays the ball out on the onside. That was an unusual position for Joe Clark to be, because he's normally been out on the boundary, and I think he only came in there because Ben Duckett had gone off for something. So he went in there, and 12th man Everson took his place on the boundary, but he didn't have to move too much. 230 for 8. Chappell has now got 2 wickets for 68. Bowls again, and this time a very solid drive from Leech out on the offside, but only straight to his opposite number, the Nottinghamshire skipper Steve Mullaney. Another super day here at New Road. As we were saying yesterday, if you were sat in front of the hotel in the Brooks and Mills stand, you would get a very nice top up of your suntan today. Other parts of the ground, it's a bit chilly, to be honest, if you're out of the sun, but it's the 23rd of April, what do you expect? Next ball is wrapping the pads of Leech, but too high and probably going down leg side as well. But bowled tidily this morning, these two. How many runs have we had this morning? 305. So 25 runs in nearly 8 overs this morning. So a good contest continues. Excellent day yesterday with Worcestershire dominating the morning, Nottinghamshire taking the lunch to tea session, and then Worcestershire coming out and get some more runs in the evening. Here's Chappell's next ball to Leech, and Leech will get a single this time. He plays and calls at the same time. Mullaney's throw comes in to the non-striker's end, but Leech is fairly comfortably home, runs his bat in, and Worcestershire have another run. 331 for 8. Leech off the mark, off his 4th delivery. Always looks as if he wants to get on with it, Joe Leech. He can bat very obdurately, as he did at Derby last week to ensure a draw. But he's a big bloke, Leech, and if he hits it, it generally stays hit. Chappell to Barnard, and this time Barnard will pick up a single on the leg side, just easing it through mid-wicket. Joe Clark comes into field, completes Zach Chappell's over. At the end of it, 332 for 8, Worcestershire. Leech on 1, Barnard on 47. The only man out today, Alzari Joseph, caught by Joe Clark off Zach Chappell for 61. That stand of 114 between Barnard and Joseph.
Yes, they batted together for about 36 overs. I'm just trying to wrap my brains. The last time I saw somebody caught there, very often see skippers almost as an act of desperation put somebody in that position, sort of silly mid-on, almost on the cut strip, very, very straight, and yet I think that's the first time for a long time that I can remember catch has been offered up to one. It was a fairly gentle one in the end, but
it was
a very tame way for Joseph's innings to end. Is Fletcher coming in to bowl to Ed Barnard, who's been kept waiting to reach his half century. He's on 47 and blocks this one. Pip's been in touch. Good morning. Ground looking lovely. Again, he's just noticing the weather and saying it'll be typical if when fans are allowed back in. That's when we
said that yesterday.
Yeah.
It'll hose it down for the first 2 days.
Of course, the The date that a lot of cricket supporters have got penciled in is the round of matches for Thursday, May the 20th, which is the reverse fixture, Notts v Worcestershire at Trent Bridge. Next ball has almost squeezed through Barnard, but he manages to take a run on the leg side. And we've got triple Nelson on the board. 3-3-3 for 8, and Barnard on to 48 now. And Joe Leech is down on strike to face Fletcher for the first time. Just Charlie Morris to come, and then Notts can set about, from their perspective, the serious business of the day. And I think all the supporters will be looking towards the top 4 and just seeing if they can combine to put a good score on the board today.
Yeah, wonder if we'll see the little spinner on again. I thought he bowled really well yesterday. What we had with this ball, we've had 14 overs with it. Well, it depends if wickets fall, of course.
It's Fletcher into Leech. That's a very competent looking shot for somebody coming in at number 10 indeed. Of course, he has batted a little higher in his career, Joe Leech, but nice confident start for him, pushing it into the offside. Duckett doing the fielding.
Of course, I was saying Joe Clark only caught that because Ben Duckett was off the field, didn't he? And the 12th man came on and Clark went in there.
Yeah, that's right. Fletcher turns and comes chugging in past umpire Illingworth and bowls again to Leech, who helps it out as far as Ben Duckett. 3-3-3 for 8. And Jake Libby 117 yesterday, the top scorer. Alzari Joseph 61, Darryl Mitchell 59, and then Ed Barnard 48 not out. Chappell in front of us. He does go through an awful lot of loosening up routines between every delivery. Next ball forced away by Leech, out as far as Clark in the covers, and there's no run.
He's never going to stiffen up, is he, that lad?
And try not to. He's picked up a couple of wickets now in the innings. Got Tom Fell yesterday, foolish delivery, pinned him LBW, and now he's got rid of Joseph. 1 for Patterson, 2 wickets to Fletcher, couple to the spinner, and of course the run out as well. Fletcher into Leech. It's a meaty clump out on the leg side for Lyndon James, and Leech will keep strike, end of the over. 3-3-4 for 8. Fletcher now through 28 overs, 2 for 60.
This is a live cricket from New Road in Worcester. Dave Bracegirdle and myself, Dave Bradley, bringing you full commentary on the BBC platforms. If you want to get hold of us, then you can go to the relative websites of the 2 radio stations and follow it there. You can go to the BBC Sport website, BBC Sport app, and of course we're also adding to the pictures that you might wish to watch as well.
Durham 330 for 4 against Derbyshire at Chesterley Street. David Beddingham 187 not out. I mentioned him, a lot of love for him in parts of Nottinghamshire. He played South African, but he played 3 seasons of club cricket for Plumtree, a side not too far away from Nottingham. 187 not out.
Here's Chappell in bowls, flicked away by Leech. Might get a couple here. Joe Clark will cut this off, coming around from square leg position. Interesting as he picked that one up and his studs caught the top of the turf. The dust came up. Don't normally see that in April in England. 2 more to the Worcestershire total, which goes to 336 for 8. So 31 runs added this morning.
The other game in Group 1, Essex 295 all out, Warwickshire 18 for 1, that at Edgbaston.
Chappell high striding in and bowls, and Leech really powers into this one, pulls it away down through square leg, but Clark is out there once again, hovering on the boundary. This time he has to go to his right to cut that one off. Leech goes to 5. Barnard has 47 6. What did he start? He was on 40 this morning, wasn't he, when he started? 48.
He was on 48, yeah.
Yeah, the sun's on that board
Yeah,
again.
yeah, he's added 8 this morning in 40 minutes or so.
No slips. 2 men closest in either side, and 4 saving a single. Next ball is Barnard coming forward, playing to one of those close-ish fielders, who is Ben Duckett. No run.
What we can say, Dave, obviously, is the 400 is totally out of the question now, and this is the 106th over. Worcestershire still need 13 for a 4th batting point. They should be able to accumulate 13 runs in the next 4 and a bit overs, but they'll have to keep an eye on it if there's 2 meagre overs sent down.
Barnard awaits the next delivery from Chappell, and this time drives into the offside and straight to Duckett, who does the crowd catch. Sadly, there's no crowd to go hooray, and then realise that it's bounced. But the I remember a game here many years ago, and I can't remember who it was, did a crowd catch, and there was a guy sat right down in front of us, and he got 4 pints of beer upon him, and as he took the catch and he went up like, yes, and knocked all the beer over, and it wasn't even a catch. I can't even remember who the fielder was. Here's Chappell in again, and Barnard just dabs this one down towards third man, opens the face of the bat and works it down to Luke Fletcher. Picks up the single. Barnard goes to 49, 338 for 8.
He's getting there, isn't he? He's faced 122 balls now, but this will be a very well deserved half century if he can get there. Joseph's final figures, faced 101 balls, 8 fours and a 6. Yeah,
he's done a good job again here at Barnard. I mean, when Worcestershire lost that clutter of wickets either side of tee yesterday. Chappell's bowling to Leech, and Leech is beaten by this one. Just as a little tentative poke at it outside the off stump. That completes Zach Chappell's over. We've had, I don't know if we had 10 overs this morning, so 5 overs apiece for these two. So, well, Mulaney might think of having a change. Luke Fletcher is striding up to bowl his 6th over of the morning.
Yeah, 12 runs now required in 4 overs for Worcestershire for that 4th batting bonus point. Barnard on 49 will have, I'm sure, given him a huge boost getting that maiden century down at Chelmsford. You just sort of, I guess, need the confirmation that you can do things like that. I mean, you're obviously not good enough to score a first-class 100 until you actually do it. It's one that a lot of people have sort of waited a while to achieve, and then they've really kicked on from then, and plenty more have followed. And I would imagine that will happen with Ed.
Yeah, he actually said it was the proverbial monkey off his back.
Yeah. Not always easy coming in at 8, because sometimes you can be in the form of your life and a couple of wickets disappear down at the other end. Next ball is running to the offside and can't get his 50 here. Good work from Slater, keeping him on strike. 338 for 8. You're layering up again.
I'm a bit chilly, mate. Once I get cold, that's it. Our central heating bill this winter has been ridiculous.
We'll throw you outside again at lunchtime. You can
get a 30-minute warm up.
You can lay like an old iguana out there on the steps and just bask in the warmth. 338 for 8. Luke Fletcher in bowls, and this will be Ed Barnard's 50. Very well played indeed. There's the applause. 6 fours, 125 deliveries for Ed Barnard.
Yeah, well batted. As I came in last night, Worcestershire lost 3 wickets for 6 runs in 4 overs. Vessels, Libby and Cox all going, and he came in and steadied the ship first of all.
Did indeed. Leech is on strike, bat and pad. I think there was a clump of bat first, and Whether that's the reason Richard Illingworth hasn't given it or not, we can't be certain, but certainly he's not going to adjudicate in Luke Fletcher's favour. First signs of a little bit of a high-risk shot from Joe Leech there. Fullish delivery, was trying to whip away. 3-3-9 for 8. Might see a little bit more block hole stuff from Fletcher now. Made his white ball reputation on that sort of delivery. Here he comes. Past Illingworth. The pigeons are cooing again, and nice and full. Well taken by Tom Moores. Good work. And in comes Russell Warren to pop the bail back on.
Yeah. Did he accidentally knock that off, or did he go for the stumping?
It was that quick you didn't see it, Dave.
I know, I didn't. No.
I don't know. May well have done.
It was just a blur.
It was indeed. Fletcher again. I'm sure he'll be looking to pull right up, and this is hit to mid-off. There's no run. Of course, with Tom Moore standing over it, the batsman knows he's not going to get a bouncer from Fletcher, or shouldn't expect to have one. That's the end of the over, so there's only a single from that one. So Worcestershire now need 11 from 3 overs. And I wonder if there's a change here. Zach Chappell, normally at the end of the over, he's going to take his cap, so there is going to be a little change here.
I think Mullaney going to have a go himself.
Oh, we've got a hand sanitising break first. Have we? No. Matt Carter came rushing on. No, he's just going to get the sweater from Mullaney. You're absolutely right. Interesting decision from the skipper. Just with 3 overs to go.
We're going to have a bit of spin. Good.
Yeah, it's Liam Patterson-White.
Yeah. I thought he bowled very well yesterday. His first spell wasn't great, but then he came back and bowled really well. I thought, and the ball that got Ricky Vessels out yesterday was a beaut. Pitch, middle and leg, hit the top of off. And my mate knows his dad, so we got to build him up a bit. Don't matter, if you know somebody who knows somebody on air commentary, don't matter how good or bad you are, you'll get a build up. Don't worry about it.
Barnard on 50 now. Don't envisage he'll change his game plan, will he, at all, Dave?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, the skipper's out there, so if he says, come on, let's clatter on and get this extra bonus point, it's going to be interesting to see. Barnard waits and plays defensively. Back down the pitch.
There's a slip, Stephen Mullaney, and interesting that on the boundary edge here, Joey Everson is armed with protective pads and helmet and everything.
Next ball is driven by Barnard. Oh, that might well go for 4. Yep. He has beaten Patterson at mid-off, who gave up fairly early in the chase. So 4 more to Ed Barnard. He goes to 54, and Worcestershire go to 343 for 8. So 7 needed for the magical 350.
That's up there with the strokes of the day so far. There are a couple of nice shots played by Alzari Joseph, but I think that's the first boundary, isn't it, by Ed Barnard this morning? May well be.
Yeah. Next ball, left arm round to the right-hander, and Barnard pushes the ball from Patterson-White into the offside. Duckett, ever alert at a extra cover position. Next ball sees Barnard flicking this one away down towards fine leg. Might get 2 here. Indeed, does come back for the second, and Worcestershire go to 345 for 8.
Yeah, bowled 31 overs yesterday. Liam Patterson-White. Luke Fletcher at close of play actually said he'll sleep tonight, the lad.
He's in again, and this time Barnard stretches way forward, almost down on one knee, almost practising for his knighthood. Pushes the ball. Sir Ed.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, apparently. Next ball is once again pushed back down the pitch. Bowler fields himself. I do not know that from experience. I've just seen films of it. Yeah, I don't know, but my granddad told me. 3:45 for 8. Worcestershire. There are 2 overs left for either team to get bonus points. Another wicket for
Notts, yeah.
Notts, and 5 more runs for Worcestershire.
Seba Mead. Interesting that they didn't do this before the last over, but Seba Mead is now putting on protective pads and has been handed a helmet by Joey Everson. Just on the boundary edge away to our right. In front of he's just put 1 pad on. If he's got a long chase here, Dave, this won't be easy for the lad.
He's got hard work.
He's got 1 pad under the flannels of his right leg as Fletcher comes in. Bowls whipped away for at least a couple here. Nice looking shot by Leech. Will comfortably come back for 2. 3:47 for 8. So Hamid just trying to get on with things. Clearly try and put the protective gear on between overs there, not to waste any time, and he only got 1 pad on.
Yeah. Well, he's just going to have to open the... He looks like a left-hander in the club nets, and he got 1 pad on.
Here's Fletcher, who's kept going since start of play today. This is his 30th over in the innings, and now it is, I say it is 8 out towards Hamid, and I'm looking, I've got a pillar, that's the word, right in front of me, and I was expecting the ball to come racing out towards Hamid, but standing right the other side of the pillar as I look is Ben Duckett, and he made a decent stop. Of course, without these pillars, it
would fall down.
The roof would fall in, yeah. But just occasionally we lose a player. The other side of the pillar is Fletcher. Into bowl to Leech, who nudges this again out to Duckett. 3:47 for 8. And we're halfway through this Fletcher over.
Who's being noisy out there? Calm yourselves down. What's the matter with you?
The troops are revolting.
Yeah.
Still no flag on top of the cathedral.
No.
Much to
somebody sent me
Bradder's dismay.
Somebody sent me a thing saying
Fletcher bowls nicely dug out this time by Leech, and that's very well stopped indeed by Joe Clark at mid-wicket. Prevented a single. Just keeps the pressure on a little bit there.
Somebody sent me a tweet saying it's because it's an Anglican church.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure the flag of St George has been up there on many an occasion.
47.
Sorry, mate, carry on.
It's Fletcher. He's in. Leech will just chop it down to Zach Chappell for a single. 3:48 for 8. Patron saint of England, of course, St George, yet never came to the British Isles. Is he
too busy?
Roman?
Too busy killing dragons. He was
slayed a dragon, and it was real. It was on the news. Slayed a dragon, but I think that was on his travels in Libya.
Let's go live to Orla Gerwin with St George, and there's the slayed dragon in the background. There we are. Watch Game of Thrones too much, I think.
3:40. Never seen it.
Well,
No
I've not watched all of it.
Here's Fletcher bowling to Ed Barnard, who's on 56. He's punched this square of the wicket on the offside slate of Fields. End of the over. Good shift being put in again by Fletcher. 348 for 8. So that's 109 overs that have gone, and Worcestershire needs 2 runs in this over. Nottinghamshire need a wicket.
Yeah, I think that'd be have a blow Fletcher on it this morning. He's bowled. Was he bowled 7 this morning? He opened from that end, and we've had 13. So yeah. So we're going to get some more spin. I suspect it'll be Dane Patterson on from the Diglis end. So we've got a short leg in. He's now fully dressed with all his armour on. Hamid and 2 close fielders with the slip and the short leg. Worcestershire need 2 runs off this over to get another bonus point, and Joe Leech has got it in one blow. Smashed that one away. Looked like a nice leg stump half volley, and he whacked it away through square leg. Brings a 350 up for Worcestershire. 352 for 8.
Yes, nice to have a plan, but that one didn't actually work as far as Notts were concerned. Joe Leech getting the boundary first ball to take all the all the stress off the rest of the over. Doesn't really matter what happens to the next 5 balls, really, as far as Leech is concerned.
He waits again, and this time cuts down backward of square on the offside, but Luke Fletcher is hovering there. Don't take a single to Fletcher these days. Yeah, I've just seen that ball. First ball of the over went for 4. It was a bit of a rank half volley on leg stump. In again, and this time a much better delivery from Liam Patterson-White. And
his dad's just got in touch, says good morning to you.
Ah, morning. Dan, isn't it? Is it
Yeah.
Dan? Yeah, okay. Dan, you're invited to the Theatre of Dreams at Martley at any time, mate. see your mate Stuart Watt bat, but don't be late, because you don't bat for long. Here's the next ball, which is that's a quicker delivery. That's well bowled, and Leech looked as if he was trying to get on the front foot and drive it, and all of a sudden he had to change his mind and chopped it down to once again Luke Fletcher at a backward point position. I'm going to call him there. You could argue he was a shortish third man, but next ball, Leech once again forward solidly plays away back up the pitch. Bowler himself does the fielding after conceding a boundary off the first ball. Bowled tidy over again.
Is this presidential role then on an annual basis, or
Well,
you sort of get it for life?
Yeah,
or
nobody else wants to do it,
right.
mate. Is the next ball, which is pushed back up the pitch. Bowler fields, well bowled. Worcestershire are 352 for 8. Joe Leech has 12. Ed Barnard has 56. Man out today. Alzari Joseph caught Clark Bowl Chapel for 61, having added 114 with Ed Barnard for the Worcestershire 8th wicket. Yes, it's I'm president and websites coordinator.
There's not many of those about.
No.
With the dual responsibility.
No. Stuart Bailey says, I'm having a stressful day in the office, so I'm going to put the cricket on and listen to you guys. Good man. He said, I'm going to put the radio on. Don't put the radio on, you won't be able to hear us these days, mate. Yeah, it's great fun. It's the thing that I'm going to get on my soapbox a bit. The thing that gets me about local cricket is that a lot of it isn't local anymore. You know, when I was a kid, the furthest we ever went was 7 miles to play a game, and we played a full fixture list.
Yeah.
But nowadays, they have to go all over the place. I think the last season I played regularly, we played at Monmouth, one game, and the next game was 3 miles from Wolverhampton. And I'm thinking, that's a long way to go to play second 11 cricket on a Saturday afternoon. Anyway, back to here, back to New Road, back to proper cricket.
The bells are sounding.
The bells are tolling.
I'll just do one ball here and then go and speak to the good folk of the Robin Hood County. In Chesterley Street, David Beddingham is 190 not out. He got a career best 180 at Trent Bridge, so he's had a fine start to the season. Beddingham. And Durham are 343 for 4. Here is Dane Patterson, Cape Town born, 32-year-old, bowls on the pads of Joe Leech, who just works it away. In fact, that's Ed Barnard, just works it away on the leg side for another single. His 57th run, 353 for 8.
Don't need to tell you, another super day here at New Road. Again, if you got a spot in the sunshine. Now, this is something that's going to happen on all grounds, I believe, as Patterson is in and bowls and Leech pushes away on the offside. He's going to get a single because it's to the right of Joe Clark. Clark shies at the stumps at the non-striker's end, misses, and Fletcher backs up. Worcestershire get another run, 354 for 8. I'm sure this is going to happen on all grounds. You will be designated a seat in the ground, and that's your seat for the day. So where you used to be able to move around and follow the sun at times in county cricket, then that's going to be your seat for the day, and that'll be it. Which is, I'm sure, everybody will adhere to it. Patterson in and bowls, and Barnard is forward once again. Very patient here from Ed Barnard. What's he faced? 134 balls for his 57 runs. Wicketkeeper Moores is going to come and stand up to the stumps just to make sure that Ed Barnard doesn't stray outside his... Well, he can still stray outside his crease if he wants to, but then, of course, there's the danger that he might get stumped. Actually, I'll bring you some more scores from around the country during this over. Patterson in and bowls, and Barnard dabs it down into the ground on the offside. There will be no run there. Yorkshire playing Sussex at Brighton. Well, it says here Brighton, but they're playing at Hove, aren't they? Sussex 166 for 3, so they lead by 16 already. Yorkshire out for 150 yesterday. In the match at Edgbaston, Warwickshire 34 for 1, replying to Essex 295 all out. Glamorgan playing Northamptonshire at Northampton. Glamorgan 383 for 9 here. Ed Barnard goes forward, plays the ball down the ground. Worcestershire have moved on to 354 for 8. Joe Leech on 13, Ed Barnard on 57, so they got the 4th batting bonus point. Barnard, a very patient innings. He's faced 136 balls so far for his 57. He was involved in a partnership of 114 for the Worcestershire 8th wicket with Alzari Joseph. Joseph, the only man to go this morning, caught by Clark off the bowling of Chappell for 61. Worcestershire 354 for 8. As Patterson bowls again, flicked away off the pads by Barnard, make that 355 for 8 as the ball goes down to square leg. Where did I get to? Durham against Derbyshire. Durham are 347 for 4 in that one against Derbyshire in this very group that Worcestershire and Nottinghamshire are playing in. That was the end of the over, by the way. Lancashire playing Kent at Canterbury. Lancashire 307 for, in fact, 311 for 7, just updating as I was speaking. Hampshire playing Gloucestershire at Southampton. 332 for 4, Hampshire. Surrey playing Middlesex, where Surrey were bowled out yesterday for 154. Middlesex almost up with them, 147 for 3. And finally, Leicestershire all out for 233. Somerset in reply, 97 for 3 at Grace Road. Here, Liam Patterson-White starts a new over. Barnard goes back and across, dabs it down to third man, where the fielder is Hasib Hamid, which suggests that he's no longer at short leg, unless there's 2 of him. So his stint at short leg lasted 1 over, having put all those pads on. Next ball. Forward comes Barnard, stretching a long way, pushing the ball away on the offside, just holds the pose for a while, just to make sure he's got everything in the right place. The sun glinting off the water hug on the far side of the ground. Next ball, and Barnard is gone, caught behind, and he gets his man, Liam Patterson-White, and Ed Barnard's patient innings is... And another good catch by wicketkeeper Moores, standing up. So Barnard, the 9th Worcestershire wicket to go down there, 355 for 9. Barnard caught Moores. But actually, the scoreboard has a bit of a problem when it's wickets are taken by Patterson-White, because they can't get his full name in. But well batted, Ed Barnard. Another fine innings from him. Coming in down the order, he's gone for 58. 58, yes, I'm just checking the board. Yeah,
9 balls too late for Nottinghamshire to get maximum bowling points. 3rd wicket for Liam Patterson-White, and a fine knock from Ed Barnard. He's there for 140 deliveries. Gets a good round of applause. He makes his way back across the little expanse of grass between the rope and the pavilion. Now he's climbing the steps and is replaced by Charlie Morris, going in the other direction.
Cheerful Charlie Morris.
Right on cue with a Liam wicket. His dad Dan has said yes, he'll take up your invitation to come and see you if he can have a go on this beast. He sent a photograph in of is that your club roller that he sent a picture of?
It was.
Grass cutter, mower, roller?
No, it's a roller. Yeah, it is a mighty thing. We actually hired it in at the start of the season and took it turns on it. We had different shift coincided with a snowstorm, which was the bottom. But it's done. Must have a roller. So Charlie Morris had a conversation with Joe. We had the Hassan team time, which is always good. Charlie Morris is a sticker. He's not a. He would admit his shots array is not great, But he will also tell you, 8.5 century against Australia. Oh, it's there in the record books. 355 for 9. And Charlie Morris's first ball sees him going back and playing out on the onside. Joe Clark jogs into field. Liam Patterson-White now has 3 for 98 off 33 overs. So, bowling fairly frugally as well. Next ball, Morris forward, bat and pad close together. Interesting to see what Joe Leech's tactics are from here, particularly if he was up against the spinner. I think he might try and give it a bit of a whack, if he faces the spinner, of course. Morris waits again, forward he comes, plays the ball at the pitch. End of the over, and at the end of it, Worcestershire 355 for 9.
Yeah, Patterson-White's 34th over completed, and he's nearing his century. 98 runs is conceded from his bowling, 3 for 98. Two batsmen having a bit of a chat there. I just wonder if discussing what Bradders was alluding to. Perhaps Joe Leech will have a bit of a go at Liam if he can get down that end. First of all, he's got to face Dane Patterson, who's got ball in hand and just trying to finish this Worcestershire innings. 355 for 9. Here comes Patterson in and bowls and chopped away for 4. Again, a fine start of the over from Joe Leech, cutting it away nicely just to the left of backward point, and ball races away. St Chapel down here, third man has to scramble about under the covers and find the ball and retrieve it. 359 for 9. Leech on to 17. Patterson knows there was just a little too much width there. Here he comes again from the Donavera stand end. This one is just tapped up to mid on, no run. 3 wickets to spin. 5 to the 3 pace bowlers, major pace bowlers, and the run out. Lyndon James hasn't bowled. Stephen Mullaney not amongst the wickets in this particular contest. Here comes Patterson once more. He's in, and Leech this time plays it to Joe Clark at backward point, no run. So Slater and Hamid, I'm sure, will be just allowing them just to wander towards an imminent spell out there in the middle. .359 for 9. Comes Patterson, bowls again, defensively played by Leech. Now Bradders has just updated the scores, but Sussex have lost 2 wickets in 3 balls. They're 168 for 5 now against Yorkshire, and Tom Haynes has scored a century in both matches, hasn't he, this season. He's just gone for 86 to Dom Bess. Next ball, thickish outside edge, comes all the way down to Zach Chappell at third man, single to Leech. That's the 360 up, 360 for 9. And Leech on to 18, brings Charlie Morris on to strike from this end, so Leech will be facing Liam Patterson-White if they don't exchange ends after this delivery. Here is Patterson, final ball of his 20th over, 1 for 73, bowls to Charlie Morris, and Morris just cuts it, one bounce to Joe Clark at backward point, end of the over. And Worcestershire 360 for 9. Began the morning 305 for 7. Lost Alzari Joseph for 61 and Ed Barnard for 58.
And a very good morning to Gareth Edwards, not that one. Would Nats have got an extra point if they got 9 wickets and 110 overs?
Yeah.
Yes. It wasn't just Worcestershire chasing the extra point. Is that the old point system? No, it still exists, Gareth. Good morning to you. Good morning to... Where's he gone? I lost him somewhere. Martin, who's listening in Marseille this morning. Very nice. Oh, went to Marseille for the Rugby World Cup one year.
Right, Joe.
Here's the next ball, which is angled in. And this is an interesting contest. Now, there's no run there, by the way. Interesting contest.
Been to Toulon 2 or 3 times.
Toulon.
Which is, just along the coast from it.
It is, yeah. Next ball, Leech, forward defensively, pushed away on the offside. Yes, if you're into your rugby, along that coast, there's some... and on the Atlantic coast, some decent teams down there. Nice places to go. Perpignan and places like that. Back to the cricket. Next ball, Leech goes back and across and he eases the ball politely through cover point to James, whose throw lands just in front of the wicketkeeper, but he was a good way out, so I don't think he gets a stare from either umpire for that one. He was relatively unemployed yesterday, wasn't he, Lyndon James?
Yeah.
He was on the same boundary all day.
He was loosening up after half an hour.
He wasn't, still never got a bowl. Here's the next ball, which Morris comes forward defensively, plays to mid-wicket. Joe Clark does the fielding. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little walking paces and then a few jogs. And Liam Patterson-White hurls another one down. This will be his longest bowl in first-class cricket, I would imagine. He bowled 34 overs before. He's away again. This time Morris is forward. Ball comes a little bit off the shoulder of the bat. It's in the air for a while, but there's no close fielder in there.
I think you're possibly right, but he did have quite a lot of work to do. Those 4 or 5 games at the end of the 2019 season when Ravi Ashwin was in with him as well. The opposition scored good runs and not had Ravi Ashwin and Liam Patterson-White bowling lots and lots of overs. I will have a look. I'm also having a look at keeping abreast of the Durham scorecard. They're now 353 for 5 against Derbyshire, but David Beddingham 198 not out, the former Plumtree player, of course.
Well batted.
Nottingham.
Well batted.
So we'll just see if he gets those other 2 runs. A lot of runs scored up and down the country in the first.
Nice dry pitches.
Yeah. Couple of rounds. There's Patterson bowling to Leech, plays it down into the ground. Another crowd catch for Ben Duckett. No crowd here to do anything about it.
Ravi Ashwin was here as well for a while. What a nice man.
Very much so.
Very polite.
Yeah.
He said he loved Worcester because he could walk through the streets and nobody knew who he was. Whereas I think if he went outside in India, he got mobbed by people. Really nice, polite,
very
gentleman.
nice man.
Yeah.
Very nice. Here's Patterson in again. It's more a defensive push. By and large, I think most cricketers are nice fellas.
They're all right, aren't they?
He's made the list. Ravi Ashwin of players who've played for both. I've got Alex Hales, of course, briefly that one game. Phil Jakes.
Phil Jakes,
Chris Tolley.
Toll, yeah. Tree Frog.
Bobby Chapman, the man who was shot at Scarborough. Bobby Chapman.
Yeah, son of.
Paul Pollard.
Yeah.
Nadeem Malik.
Ooh.
David Lucas. AJ Harris. Andre Russell. Next ball is hit away on the leg side by Leech. Cries of catch, but the ball, first time I see it, is bouncing in front of Lyndon James. And they just settled for a single, and then obviously in more recent times the 3 involved in this game: Joe Clark, Ricky Vessels and Jake Libby.
Yeah.
If there's any more.
Bobby Chapman's dad was a good footballer.
Yes, I don't know if you've probably heard the story. I'm sure Jono would have told you when not seconds. In fact, it wasn't the seconds, but it was almost a second 11. We're playing in one of those trophy games. Is it Tetley Bitter Trophy or Bain Clarkson or some such? This is played into the offside. Fielded by Clark, they take a single, 363. At Scarborough.
Scarborough, that was it.
Bobby Chapman was shot by.
Oh, that's right.
By a sniper's pellet from the flats at the Trafalgar Road, Trafalgar Square end of the ground.
That's right.
And
yes.
He thought it was a bee sting at first, but when he got off and the physio looked, they actually rang the police, and it's him again. Was the reaction, as if he did it every day. 6 runs clipped onto the leg side. Yeah, who shot Bobby Chapman? A double 100 for David Beddingham, then the South African.
Well
26 fours, 329 balls, 355 for 5. So similar score here to here at New Road, but obviously Durham haven't lost as many wickets.
Sounds like a quiz question.
Who shot Bobby Chapman?
Yeah. Who shot John Lennon?
Jono, not that Jono, a different Jono Bullard. Really enjoying watching the coverage this morning, gents. Also nice to watch the game on a large TV screen than from a tiny camera one. Next ball sees Dane Patterson bowl, and it's pulled out into the deep. A Seba Mead. I wondered if he'd lost it at first, but no, it was just trickling along the ground towards him. And another single is taken, 363 for 9.
Yes, if you've got a telly that's got... it's advertising, but there you go, YouTube on, you can watch Inglorious Technicolor.
364 for 9. Actually, the board has just caught up. I beat it for once.
I do have to say that technology has advanced so much.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, if somebody had said you could sit at home with your telly on and watch, the game at New Road.
Well, it's only 5 minutes since we were sat looking at teletext updating.
Yeah. Here's at the start of a new over from Liam Patterson-White, who still hasn't got his 100 up, 3 for 99.
Or ringing the old club call. Or even before that, ringing Trent Bridge. Can you tell me the score, please?
Yeah.
It's a wonder I didn't get killed as a kid. The amount of times I did that, it must have appeared on the phone bills.
Next ball, Leech goes back and plays down the ground. There used to be a chap who sat just down here, and there was a number you could ring.
Yeah.
And his phone rang incessantly. And if you were sat near it, you'd go, "Can't you turn the ringer off, mate?" What's the score, mate? Here's the next ball, pushed out on the offside. When I worked in newspapers, of course, it used to come down on the wire, and a guy we worked with who used to pop into the wire room, and his phrase of the day was, "I know the score, I know the score." He used to make it up sometimes. When he told us Snow had stopped play at Buxton in June, we thought he's having us on here. Next ball, Leech dabs it away on the outside. They think about it, seeing it's not there. Clark is in very quickly, flicks the ball back to the wicket-keeper.
Steve Crawley, just listened to that list, said Nadeem Malik. Now there's a player very underrated.
Yeah. He was good. Yeah.
Started at Trent Bridge and then came here.
He did.
It's been a few.
Next ball is chopped away by Leech. He's going to get 4 here. I think Luke Fletcher's going to cut that one off. Charlie Morris is still running like a greyhound, but Skipper Leech has got to the other end and thought, steady on, Charles.
He's not running quite as quickly towards the Cathedral Fletch as he did yesterday when he executed the run out. If you've not seen the little bit of video footage of him executing the run out and then setting off in celebration, it's worth catching. Trent Bridge have tweeted it, and it's probably a moment that the Notts fans have looked at more than Worcestershire fans, to be fair, but it is worth a look. It's quite a comic moment with Fletcher celebrating a run out. As I say, I think it's only the second time in his career that he's ever hit the stumps with a throw.
Here is the next ball, pushed away by Leech, and Liam Patterson-White's 100 is up, 3 for 103. The wail of a siren going down the new road out of the city of Worcester. I hope it's going out of the city of Worcester because it's a one-way road. And that concludes the over. Worcestershire are 368 for 9, and they've been batting today for... Where are we? An hour and 22 minutes, in which time they've added 63 runs. So I think they'll be quite pleased with that.
With all due respect to Worcestershire and their supporters, what we don't want, Dave, is Worcestershire right now to be 9 wickets down at 1 o'clock.
No, because
we don't like that, do we? We don't like that.
Messes our lunch up. Never mind anything else.
We don't like lunch being put back
No.
by 9 wickets down at lunch. Here's Patterson trying to just get this last wicket, bowling to Charlie Morris, who very sensibly just blocks it. Again, Tom Moores is standing up. He's done well, I think, in this game, but as one or two mentioned, and you brought it up in commentary a time or two yesterday, the outfield a little bubbly and bobbly and in places, and where Tom would normally stand for the quicks,
Yeah.
you know, the one or two that sort of pitched in front of him, it's a real lottery as to which way it's going to shoot or bounce. You can easily take one in the teeth, even stood back. 368 for 9 as the next one's blocked. And Boater this is, walking around the boundary edge, one of the Notts coaching staff, former Derbyshire and Warwickshire spinner, South African. Just come to have a... Well, he's chatting to Zach Chappell. I don't know if that's the destination of his walk, if he's just having a walk around the boundary, or he's specifically come out to chat to Chappie. No, he's left him behind.
Walking on,
he's
walking
off elsewhere.
on, with hope in his heart.
In one of the jungle tops.
I like those tops.
This is defended again by Charlie Morris.
They are, what would you call that? They are stripes at a degree, aren't they? Black, yellow and green.
Almost diagonal stripes.
Yes,
but
which look great on Ant Botha, but men of a
Yes,
slightly larger figure like you and I.
we don't make them in a larger figure, I've looked.
No. A mate of mine who was a prop forward said he never played for a team that played in hoops or stripes. Never do that, he said.
368 for 9. That's Patterson from the Digley End bowls. Morris again happy to defend. He's not looked really in any trouble whatsoever here, Charlie Morris, whatever they've sent down at him so far. He's only faced 11 balls, but he's played all 11, in fact 12 balls. He's played all 12 of them with ease, with a stick of rhubarb.
Yeah.
Patterson sets off again. Will this be the one that brings the end to the Worcestershire innings? No, it won't, because again Morris gets everything behind it, just helps it up to the Notts skipper Stephen Mullaney at mid-off, and there's no run. Mullaney lost the toss yesterday, first time this season, and Joe Leech opted to bat, and I wouldn't have thought he'd have taken too long in making that decision, Dave.
No. What are we doing here? Change in personnel.
Yeah.
We've got a short leg coming in.
Yeah, this is why they're switching them over.
Yeah.
Liam Patterson White's going out on the leg side fence where Seba Mead was fielding. Now Mead has been brought in, but the reason is because he is going to don the helmet and get in there close at Boot Hill, and Tom Moores has gone back. So whether it's the old double or triple bluff, or whether Dane Patterson has been eating some raw meat and is going to come snorting in and give him one or two short pitch deliveries. I think, well, number 11's been there for a while, so now he's entitled to one. And he is. He was dug in, but it was very, very well played by Charlie Morris. And Dane Patterson, don't think he's had a word. He's just carried on walking down this end and will take his fielding position. That's one thing with the umpire's not holding your sweater or your cap or whatever. You haven't got to turn and go back, and then there's sometimes that little frosty exchange between bowler and umpire.
Yeah, true.
If he's turned one down or called you for a no ball or whatever, you can just leave the scene of the crime very, very quickly, can't you?
Yeah. We're having a hand sanitation break, which comes every 6 overs. It's alright at the start of the game, you think, oh, 6, 12, 24, but by this stage of the game, 117 overs gone.
Well, also, if a wicket goes down in, say, the 3rd or the 4th over since you last had it, the 12th man runs on and they do it then, so,
yeah,
you know, you're right, it doesn't happen at the end of the 6th, the 12th, the 18th, or the 24th, or whatever. It does sometimes be done every, well, whatever. No more than 6 overs, anyway.
There was one cricketer who allegedly rubbed some on the ball and got into trouble for it. Here's start of another over. Liam Patterson-White bowling to Joe Leech, who's been very controlled. Joe Leech, I quite thought he might be trying to whack the spinner out the ground, but he's faced 47 balls for his 25 runs. Forward, very solidly defensive. In fact, it was 46, so I got a bit in front of myself. Zach Chappell's still. Well, we don't know what he's doing. We don't know whether he's warming up or warming down these days. He's doing exercises. That's what he's doing. Here's the next ball, which Leech chops away. Good stop there by Luke Fletcher. Gets down well for a big man. He got down quicker than he got up. Let me tell you that. And he's hobbling a bit. But the effort was there. 368 for 9, Worcestershire. Leech goes back and misses this one. He's looking for the cut shot. It's that quicker ball. It's the one that got Ed Barnard out. Yeah. He's gone across the crease looking for a cut or working the ball away on the backward of square on the offside, and didn't get anything on it this time.
He's getting a bit of abuse last night on the socials. Luke Fletcher from Chris Nash.
Oh, right. Here's the next ball, which is treated with due respect by Leech. Bat and pad close together, no run. 368 for 9.
Nice to see that. He's left the game now, but still following his his most recent county. He's moved back to the Sussex area.
Left arm round to the right-handed Leech, punches it down the ground. He's going to get a single here. There's a lot of this end where you get the ball in, but in the end, both batsmen are reasonably confident. And the throw that came in from Zach Chappell wasn't the best. It wasn't a Fletcher-esque throw, that one. 369 for 9. Leech keeps the strike. He goes to 26. Morris has 1. And update into a radio programme I will have to do. So Worcestershire have added 64 runs this morning. They've not been rushing around. It's going to take them 22 overs to do that, but building up a good total here. So be interesting to see what happens when Nottinghamshire come to bat. Will Worcestershire get more out of the pitch than some of the Notts bowlers have? Zach Chappell's bending and stretching and everything else is going to be put into action now, because he's coming on at the Diglis end of the ground. He's going to be bowling to Joe Leech. Once again, a fairly spread field. No close catches at all. There's a single almost anywhere on the leg side. Bit of a one-day type per field, this one. As I'll go and talk to some other people. 369 for 9, Worcestershire. Their innings continue. Skipper Joe Leech on 26 and Charlie Morris on 1. Ed Barnard, the last man to go, he was caught by wicket-keeper Morzoff, the spinner Patterson-White, for 58. A stand of 114 between he and Alzari Joseph, after Worcestershire had been in a bit of trouble last night. 216 for 7. Joseph first to go this morning. He was out for 61. Barnard gone for 58. Charlie Morris has 1. Joe Leech has 26. Worcestershire are 369 for 9. As Chappell strides in and bowls, and Leech tries to force it away on the offside and just forces the ball into the ground. Got the inside third of the bat on it, and no run shall occurreth. Just looking towards the cathedral, that bright pink blossom of what I assume is a cherry tree through there. They're normally bright and pink. I'm sure other trees have bright pink blossoms. As I've said many times before, when I'm on Mastermind, my chosen specialist subject will not be native trees of Great Britain.
Or even New Road.
Or even, yeah.
Lots of different ones here, aren't there?
Chappell bowls, pushed away on the offside by Leech, and Chappell does well, gets his foot to it. Very spread field, offering a single here to Joe Leech so that they can bowl last man Charlie Morris, but Charlie Morris has looked pretty solid, and No great alarms there.
In fact, I look to my right, and it's still there, though very, very faded, is a diagram of, it's been pinned up there for years, a diagram of the ground and all the different trees, but it's faded now, you can't see it, but if you're beginning to... This chapel will break off.
He bowls a bouncer, which bounces again before it gets through to the wicket-keeper, and Leech ducks underneath. Yes, Tim Jones sent me that.
Did he? Yeah,
many moons
it's been
ago.
there a while, hasn't it? If you did want to start to learn about British trees and all the different ones, this would be a good place to begin that hobby, because there are many different looking trees here, and I presume they're all different species.
Yes, there's acers over the far side, and I think that's a silver birch, weeping willow,
Black pear, chestnut.
yeah. Zach Chappell, who's not a tree, but he's bowling at the moment. The Zach Chappell tree. That would bend in the wind all the time, wouldn't it? The Zach Chappell tree. It'd be blown all over the place. Anyway, played by skipper Leech down to mid-on. Luke Fletcher goes down on his knee to stop it, and gets up rather slowly, trepidatiously, if there is such a word.
I don't think there is, actually.
No, I just made it up. The field closes in. Matt Carter, the 12th man, in front of his brother Andy, of course. Had a stopover here at New Road, one of the many counties he played for. 370 for 9. Chappell in bowls to Charlie Morris. Morris very solidly in line and plays the ball out to mid-on. No, I don't know how many counties that he did play for in the end, Andy Carter, but there was quite a few.
Didn't he equal... I think he got to 6. I think it equaled... Was it Marcus North?
Ah, right.
But I think...
Certainly as an English qualified player.
Yeah, I think Andy Carter is the Englishman, as you say, the English qualified player who's played first-class cricket for most counties. But there were only... there were one or two that were just a very short port of call. I've really made a mess of this bit of paper now.
Oh, don't worry about it, mate. Zach Chappell in, and this is turned away by Charlie Morris, and the single is turned down. Wow. Cheerful Charlie. Cheerful Charlie deserved a single there to get him to 2.
I've unpinned this diagram of the ground with all the trees, and you generally, Dave, can't read a word of it apart from Summer Floods 2005. So maybe it was 2005 when it was put up there. Something about Phil Neal at the top there.
Some of those trees disappeared in 2009 or 2005, I think.
End of the over.
A red-leaved something. There we are.
370 for now.
It was in a Worcestershire yearbook, I think. 1986 yearbook. I got one of those at home. I'll see if I can manage to do that.
Do you want me to try and pin it back up?
You can if you want to. Yeah.
Is there any purpose in doing that?
No, leave it there, and that'll remind me to do it.
Okay. Got the drawing pin as well. There's Liam Patterson-White from the hotel end of the ground, and very nearly slid through there. So, what did you make of that? The last over, then, them turning down a single.
Well, you'd think that it was because Joe Leech wanted to have a crack at Liam Patterson-White and have a go at him, but he's not really doing that.
No.
Mainly because the bowler's bowling well.
Long on and long off position, deep mid-wicket positioned. Sweeper on the offside as well, so got the boundary covered, and it doesn't make sense now because the second ball is just taken a single, pushed it into the gap, and in they come from all different postcodes around Worcestershire. The fielders converge again on Charlie Morris.
Yeah, strange. Perhaps Charlie thinks he's happier playing the spinner than the pace man, but
they won't be happy if we have a late lunch, will they?
No.
There's Patterson-White bowling, nicely played. Oh yes, come through, Skip. I'll have one there, says Charlie Morris.
The chef won't be happy.
And out they go again, the fielders. A little bit of a race here between Joe Clark and Dave Patterson to see who can get out onto the rope first. Clark is at long on, Patterson's at long off in front of the hotel. Yes, Patterson-White bowling and defended. The rules here, of course, you can catch it one-handed off the hotel.
Yeah, one hand, one bounce.
372 for 9.
It's surprising how close that is, how little it gets hit.
Patterson White bowling, and well, a play and a miss, and it was a really deliberate attempt to give it everything there from Leech. Backed away, threw the bat at it, and somehow it nestled in the keeper's gloves without having made contact. Patterson White coming to the end of his 38th over now, and field off his own bowling, and Worcestershire bat on 372 for 9, with Morris having doubled his score to 2 in that over, and Leech on 28.
On the other hand, if you're opening the batting for Nottinghamshire, you might think, well, if they get out 10 minutes before lunch, we go to lunch.
Yeah.
But if they get out now, we might have a.
If it's 11 minutes before lunch, we've got to face an over.
Yeah, and at this stage, we might have a tricky 10 or 12 minutes, maybe three overs to face. Excuse me, I got the hiccups in the middle of that.
Boo.
Yeah, give me a shark. Send me my gas bill.
There's Chappell in, bowls to Morris, who clips it away on the leg side past Hamid. Durham lose another wicket, 368 for 6 at home to Derbyshire, in the same group as these two counties, and Beddingham still there, 212 not out.
Did he not interest Nottinghamshire?
Oh well, don't think he was ever. Well, I'm not aware of him being part of the academy or anything. He did play locally, but really since going to Durham, his career has certainly kicked on. There's Chappell in again, and this one's into the midriff of Joe Leech. There's no run. Elsewhere, Middlesex have got the lead in the London Derby. They bowled Surrey out yesterday for 154. Middlesex have overtaken them 161 for 4. And Sussex building a lead down there on the south coast. They're 195 for 6, having bowled Yorkshire out yesterday for 150. And Glamorgan all out for 407 at Wantage Road. Obviously against Northants, a century there for Chris Cook, who was dismissed today for 136. And comes Chappell, former Leicestershire man, bowls into the thigh pad area of Joe Leech. No run.
Is Chris Cook the only Glamorgan player in the Welsh Fire team still? I know when the original pick,
I don't know.
He was, because there was no Welshman actually in the team, because he's South African, Chris Cook. But whether I don't know. I haven't seen the reselections for the 100. Can't imagine they're too different to the last ones. Yeah, Bairstow been doing some research on his Welsh roots, I think.
373 for 9. Next ball from Chappell is again hit down the ground by Leech, or that was his intention. It's cut out by the bowler.
Trent Rockets in the 100. No team here, obviously, at New Road. Most of a few of the Worcestershire players seconded to the Birmingham team. Ben Cox with the Trent Rockets, you were saying?
Yes, indeed, yeah. 373 for 9. Next ball is a bumper, which is ducked underneath. Goes through to Tom Moores, who's the other keeper in the Trent Rockets squad, so they'll have their own little tussle, I guess, for a starting berth.
Yes, I need to gen up on some of those squads, because I'm not quite sure who's playing for who. I think the major selections, you don't have to have any affinity at all with the team that you're involved with.
373 for 9 as Chappell comes in. This one's hit up in the air, and I think it'll go for 6, because the fielder's out there on that rope are both looking towards the hotel, and it's gone away. Top edge away off Chapel for 6 runs to Joe Leech, banged in short, and what goes the distance.
That nearly did hit the hotel, bizarrely.
It was a very unusual looking shot, wasn't it? It was like a
double-handed backhand.
Yeah, tennis smash over his head that top edged and flew away. 379 for 9. Leech on to 34. 305 for 7 at the start of the day. So a morning of gradual accumulation. It's now reached a crescendo with that maximum. 379 for 9. Paul Franks wandering in front of the media centre here.
Next ball, pushed away on the onside. Charlie Morris, the batsman. Liam Patterson-White, the bowler, into his 39th over.
Yeah. Can't imagine he's ever bowled this many in a first 11 game.
Morris, solidly behind it again. We have a short leg who's getting instructions from wicketkeeper Moores as to where he should be. He moves at least 3 centimetres to his left, and a slip, the 2 close catches. Although there's one in on the drive on the offside, but Morris is hit on the pad. Huge appeal. I would imagine it was carrying on down the leg side, because that's where he was playing it. We'll get a replay eventually, but
umpires aren't what they used to be as you close in on lunch, are they?
oh no, that's true. Next ball, Morris goes across and plays it to backward point, where Fletcher is the fielder. Yeah, missing leg stump, young man, I'm afraid. That was the one that didn't turn, it went straight on.
It'd have had to have come back out as well if it had been given. It's only about 1:45, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another 5 minutes, watch out there if it hits your pads.
379 for 9. And the next ball sees Morris. His 23rd ball he's received, Charlie Morris. He's got 3 runs from those 23 balls, and most of those he's been dabbing his left leg down the pitch and putting his bat alongside it. Here's the next ball, left arm around to the right-handed batsman, and this time pushed away on the offside. In fact, every Worcestershire batsman in this team are right-handed. I'm sure somebody might have a record of when that happened before, but I certainly don't. End of the over, 379 for 9. Worcestershire Leech 34, Morris 3 out today. Joseph for 61, caught Clark bowled Chapel, and Barnard for 58, caught Moores bowled Patterson White. Those 2, Joseph and Barnard, putting on 114 for the 8th wicket. And the glorious day at New Road, just one aeroplane vapour trail away in the distance.
Here comes Chapel. Last ball went for 6. Leech on strike again. Forces this well to the offside. Stephen Mullaney doing the fielding. I think on another day they might even have been able to run 2, but they don't even go for 1. Cries of wait. Just having a look at Liam Patterson-White. Played 5 games in 2019. Bowled a total of 134 overs in those 5 games. Took 20 wickets. I wouldn't have thought he'd have bowled anywhere near 40 overs in an innings.
No.
Which he hasn't done here yet. He's bowled 39. But very interesting now that Joe Leech has brought a game within a game, really. He's allowed Charlie Morris a fair proportion of the strike. He's faced 24 deliveries, but now Joe Leech all of a sudden is just trying to make sure he remains on strike. And again, it's going to turn runs down here as it's clipped out towards the scoreboard on the Cathedral Road side of the ground, and they elect not to run again.
I'm never sure about all this cat and mouse at the end of the innings.
No.
Sometimes it works, and then Charlie Morris has proved that he's more than capable out there.
Might have been a little different when he first came out, I agree, but as I say, he's faced 24 balls. That's 4 overs in real money. 379 for 6. Chapel all the way back to the end of his mark. Not over 8, by the way, on the board is +5.
Got your spinner bowling 39 overs. That whacks it up, doesn't it?
There's Chappell in again, and Leech pushes it back to the bowler.
Yeah, there's a single everywhere apart from mid-wicket, I suppose. Or back to the bowler.
1, 2, 3 on the fence. On this side, well, everybody's pushed back, as you say. Clark is 10 yards in from the rope. Mullane is 10 yards in from the rope. Fletcher is, but there's another 5 on the fence. Now they will take a single from the 4th ball of the over. And as Brad has said, it doesn't necessarily make an awful lot of sense to anybody but Joe Leech and probably Charlie Morris right now. Might not even make sense to Charlie Morris, but at least he'll know what his skipper's thinking.
I was watching the IPL the other night, and what did they want? 5 to win, and smashed the ball to the boundary. Good stuff on the boundary. They didn't run, and Chris Morris was the batsman at the other end, and you could see his helmet was about to come off in fury. And in the end, they lost the game. But Morris,
the richest player in the auction.
Yeah, and he's more than capable of whacking it over the rope.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Who was he batting with?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Oh, right.
One of those,
somebody who thought he was better than he.
One of those very good
is.
Indian batsmen, and there's quite a few of those.
There are. Short leg in there, Hamid. There's 2 sort of short legs. What would you describe that Ben Duckett position? Square short leg. Next ball is clipped between them both. Duckett and Hamid out onto the leg side. But there's no run.
Not running. Come on, run.
380 for 9. We're only coming up towards the back end of the 4th session out of 12, but Worcestershire, I think, will still be eager to eke out every single run they can. 400, only 20 more than 380, but it sounds a heck of a lot more, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think they'll have to bat before lunch. I've got 12:49 on mine.
No. There's Chappell in bowls, and Morris has clipped it to mid-wicket and has run a quarter of the way down, and then he looks up and sees that Joe Leech is probably just standing there, shaking his head, grinning at him. Go back.
I reckon if they'd have taken the runs, Charlie Morris would have been on 20 odd by now.
Stay there, young Jedi.
Hand sanitation.
Yes.
Or sanitising break.
Well, this isn't good, is it, Russell? It's not, Richard. What we're going to do here? Well, it hit him on the pad in the last over, but I realised we'd have to come back out.
Yeah. I wonder what is for lunch today. Yeah. We had some very nice chicken yesterday.
We did.
Yeah. Don't know what it is today. I wouldn't object if it was the same again, to be honest.
No.
Very healthy for us. I did have a piece of cake yesterday, but I've not had a biscuit. It's lunch on the 2nd day, and I've not had a biscuit. Put that in my diary.
But you did have demands. You're a demanding man, Mr. Bradley. I did hear you say, "Is there any mayonnaise to go with this, please?"
Light mayonnaise, if you would.
That's about the only thing that Luke Fletcher won't eat. He has a right old tizwas if he
light mayonnaise.
If there's mayonnaise on a sandwich or a cob or whatever.
Go light mayonnaise on your chips.
He's not a fan of mayo.
Liam Patterson-White is continuing. This will be his 40th over. He is bowling to Joe Leech. Leech forward solidly, plays the ball back up the pitch. Once again, field is spread. There's a single everywhere apart from extra cover, short extra cover. You won't get one there. Or, of course, back to the bowler. Next ball is indeed going to that man there, Ben Duckett, short extra cover.
I would go as far as to say I don't think they'll get one anywhere for a couple of balls.
No.
Curious tactics.
Next ball, and Leech is going to take a single here. Oh, they're going to look for 2. No, there's only one there. So cheerful Charlie Morris is going to face 3 balls. Do you remember cheerful Charlie Chester, don't you?
Oh, Charlie Chester.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
Yeah.
And he is cheerful, Charlie Morris. He's a good fella.
I mentioned a game or two back. Do you remember a fella called Tommy Trinder?
Oh God, yeah. Wasn't he chairman of Fulham
It was
Football
something
Club?
to do with Fulham, is it?
He was.
It's only
Yeah.
in recent years of my life. I did tell this story on air the other day that apparently, I was in a pushchair and in Blackpool, and he asked me if he could pick the baby out of the pushchair and hold me.
Next ball, pushed by Morris, back up the pitch. Was that when the
Well,
Zeppelin? Is that when the Zeppelin
Well,
came
whether this
over?
has been embellished over the years or whether it actually happened, but I was.
That's it. Yeah, Tommy Trinder.
It's only in recent years that my mum has come up with this. We were at Blackpool one day and on the front there.
Next ball, Morris pushes away on the offside. Yes,
Oh, what a lovely baby. Do you mind if I pick him up?
And away he went.
You'd get a court order these days, wouldn't you? Tommy Trinder.
Yeah.
What a lovely baby.
381 for 9. Charlie Morris goes back to the next ball, pushes it away on the offside. One run has come off the over, and the total has gone to 381 for 9. Good morning to Graham Blomfield. Listening to the cricket, good to hear the cricket once again. He says, yes, I know about those details, Blom, thank you very much. Sorry to send coded messages over the radio, whatever.
Thomas Crossland's with us, loving the commentary, guys, again, thank you very much. Sanju Samson was the Indian batsman who turned down that single
right.
in the IPL.
Yes.
Thanks
Well
for
done.
that, Thomas.
Sanju Samson. Yeah, Chris Morris's face was a picture.
What have we got now then? What do you think's happening now?
Well, we got a change of bowling.
Mulaney going to have a go. Looks as if he is.
We're meandering, aren't we? The game is meandering at the moment.
Yes.
There's a bit of a lack of urgency since Joseph and Barnard departed. These two have been together for 12 overs and have added 26 runs.
Exactly, and you can't criticise Worcestershire's tactics because they're keeping the board going, albeit fairly slowly. They're keeping Nottinghamshire out there in the dirt, and the runs
perhaps they worked
getting
out
closer and closer to 400.
Perhaps they worked out that they will have to stay out there if they're still there at 1 o'clock. Go on, lads. What about me dinner?
It is going to be Stephen Mulaney. Hang on, now what's happened? They'd all gone out, look.
And they're all coming in.
And now he's bringing the field in. And Tom Moores was standing back for Stephen Mulaney, but now he's bringing him up.
I think he suddenly said, OK, lads, let's play proper cricket here.
Yeah.
Instead of messing about trying to give him a single, let's
Well,
try and get him out.
I'd rather you were doing that all the time anyway.
Yeah,
but,
too true.
Is this your end or mine?
I can't remember.
It's Mulaney from the Diglis end, bowling to Charlie Morris, who blocks the first ball. I think it's mine, isn't it?
Yeah, I did the last one. Can't wear the old fellas out.
It's so long ago that it was quite a gap, that wasn't it, between the last over and this one. We've been down Tommy Trinder Lane.
Tommy Trinder. Yeah, he's a musical comedian, wasn't he? Yeah. Didn't he have a catchphrase, Tommy Trinder, like, where's me washboard or something?
Mulaney bowls. And this one's clipped on the leg side.
Arthur Atkinson in the Fast Show, that was, where's me washboard? He used to point to his arm, where's me washboard?
No, I didn't, never watched that.
Oh.
Paul Whitehouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do love that fishing thing that him and Bob
Oh,
Mortimer
it's very good, isn't
do.
it?
It's really, even when they don't catch a fish.
It's very... You don't have to think about that too much, that's what I like.
He would drive you up the wall, I'm sure, a day with Bob Mortimer. That's just pushed in the nicest possible sense as Duckett Fields on the offside. I like spending a day with you. It's non-stop, isn't it? Relentless. Relentless. But no, it's very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Whitehouse and Mortimer go fishing.
Yeah.
Well, they don't, as you say, they don't catch many, do they? When they catch them, they go mad.
Well, Mortimer does. Whitehouse obviously a very, very keen fisherman. It's a real passion with him as a steered to backward point, fielded by Clark. No run, 381 for 9. But Bob, he's just as likely to cast up a tree, isn't he, as the middle of the river. Very, very good. Simple pleasures.
What's happening now? Long on, long off, and everybody else is coming in.
So many balls? We've got 4 balls in the over now. So.
Go on, Joe, whack it.
But again, you know, they're trying to keep Leech from getting a single, so they bowl at Morris, but Morris has played nicely enough anyway, as we've been saying. This one's fielded by Duckett, so another dot ball here. It remains 381 for 9.
I think they're outthinking each other now, these two teams. Just get on with it.
Captain to captain. Next ball from Stephen Mullane to Leech on his pads, and he'll tickle this away, and Lyndon James will do the fielding on the boundary, and they'll take a single from the final ball of the over, fifth ball of the over. Had it been the last ball of the over, of course he could have let it go.
I think it was the last
Yeah.
ball. I thought it was. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tom Moore's had gone to get the helmet back, which
Let it go for 4, Lyndon. Let it go for 4.
it's well, you get false fielding then, don't you?
You do. You do. 382 for 9. Wonder what the grand plan is for when they get another opportunity to bowl to Charlie Morris. I wonder if we'll find out. Sussex 212 for 8 against Yorkshire, who made 150. Steve Patterson has taken 2 in 2. It's a good job he doesn't sign for knots.
Yes.
Patterson White.
Patterson White is the bowler on this occasion. Joe Leech is the batsman, plays that solidly out on the onside.
We've had 2 Pattinsons, Darren and James.
At 382 for 9, Worcestershire. Next ball is Leech down and has a real go at this one, and it's gone back over the bowler's head. It's gone over mid-on. It's gone for 6. Leech lashing out at that one and putting it into the New Road stand.
Joe Clark played here for many years, but I think he's just going to discover some parts of the ground he's never seen before. he's gone scrambling away to our left. He's just gone through the doors of the reception in the hotel. He's just getting in the lift. He's
just gone through Dorset.
Heaven knows where that went. There doesn't seem to be any doubt about it. It was quite an emphatic blow. In fact, he's looking in the seats here, and the scorers are saying, "Well, we haven't seen it, Joe. It didn't come this way." I've got it. Perhaps
Good
I
lad.
didn't yell.
See, he'd got a round of applause if there'd been a crowd in there.
Well, the crowd would have thrown it back, wouldn't they? I bet that's the first time he's been in this stand. 388 for 9 with that 6, and we're into the 1 o'clock news.
Well, we will be very shortly. So we are going. We do continue, of course, with 9 wickets down. We will go to lunch as Leech waits again, pushes the ball back up the pitch, and there is no run. 386 for 9 here, Worcestershire. So 81 runs added this morning for the loss of 2 wickets. So they'll be pretty pleased with that. Joe Leech has gone on to 43 and pushes the ball back up the pitch. That was the 4th ball of the over. So will he be looking for a single? Is it 2 sixes in that 43? It's been a very restrained innings. It's the 83rd ball he's faced, and this time he will get a single. Chops it down to Fletcher, who's down at 3rd man. Picks up 1 more, and the total goes to 389. Charlie Morris has 1 delivery to face. He gets a bit of company as well, does Charlie Morris. The field closes in, and we've got silly mid off, forward short leg, a slip, and a man on the drive on the offside. And this time Charlie Morris, his top hand forces the ball down into the ground. If the ball was going to go anywhere, it was not going to come up off the top of Charlie Morris's bat there. He got everything behind that. Left elbow stretching forward. So that was the end of the over. Patterson wide, 41 overs, 6 maidens, 3 for 114. The Worcestershire total is 389 for 9. Leech has 44, Morris has 3. And these two put on 34 for the last wicket. Leech it will be to face the bowling of Steve Mullaney. Right arm over to the right-handed Leech, and as we keep saying, all the Worcestershire batsmen are right-handed, but just to make the point, push down the ground this time. An easy single to Luke Fletcher, but they don't take that single. There's some work going on in the car park on the far side of the ground from us towards the cathedral, and the flashing red light on the top of a digger, earth mover type vehicle, see through the trees. Mullaney bowls. Leech tries to open the face of the bat and run it down towards third man. Gets too much bat on it. Clark, having returned to the field from the New Road stand, comes round to do the fielding. I have to tell you again, it's a lovely day at New Road, but a bit chilly in the shade. Next ball from Mullaney, pushed down the ground, no run. I suspect that if there were any spectators in, there would have been some cries of "get on with it" or something like that from the crowd. They would not have enjoyed the cat and mouse cricket that we're seeing at the moment. Mullaney strides in again. This time Leech drives on the offside. They will take a single. It's half stopped by, who's that in there? Ben Duckett in it. That short extra cover. Leech goes to 44. Morris has 3. And Worcestershire have 394.9. And I've got to do an update into a news type programme. And well, watching the last wicket stand of 35 so far between Joe Leech and Charlie Morris. Leech on 45, Morris on 3. Worcestershire 390 for 9. The two men out this morning, Alzari Joseph for 61 and Ed Barnard for 58. Those two put on 114 for the Worcestershire 8th wicket. But watching a bit of cat and mouse going on here between the two teams as Worcestershire try to build on this lead there. 390 for 9. And lunch has been delayed. Here's the next ball from Mullaney to Charlie Morris. Morris forward, plays the ball into the ground. Slater fields. No run. Chef's going mad because he's got everything ready to go. All piping hot. Even the salad's piping hot today. This is the last ball of the 129th over, and this time Morris forward, pushes the ball away on the offside. It comes off Slater's shoulder and just trickles away, and there is no run. So just one run from the over, and at the end of it Worcestershire are 390 for 9, Leech 45, Morris on 3. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us on Twitter, I am Bradders at BBC, which is AT in the middle of there, BRADDERS AT BBC, and my colleague is Dave Bracegirdle, who is at Brace Cricket. Now we're wandering around again here, and the umpires are having a chat with each other. I'm not quite sure what this is all about, but we'll try and find out. Thanks to Chris Smith, who says that Tommy Trinder's catchphrase was "you lucky people." That's it, you lucky people. That'll be him. Good morning to Tony Pearson from Cape Cod. Drinking tea and listening to the cricket. Delightful way to wake up. Very good. Tommy Trinder's catchphrase, Dave, was "you lucky people." You lucky people. This game is it's almost. Oh, hello.
Not me, you're on it.
We're off.
Hang up. Boom. Redial.
Yeah.
Nothing happening. No.
Oh, I think you lost us there for a minute. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. In fact, we're going to get Lyndon James is going to bowl. A day and a half after he warmed up, he's going to get a bowl.
Does this count? And over in the lunch interval, here he comes. 390 for 9. He's into bowl to Leech, and he's hit it out onto the leg side, and it's just one bounce short of Joe Clark. When he came on in the last game against Warwickshire, got a wicket first ball, and how ironic that would have been had it been served up on a plate for Joe Clark. Full shot, and he just short of Joe Clark. 390 for 9. James, tall young man, all-rounder, 22 years of age, comes in from our end of the ground, the New Road end, bowls, and this is hit up to Patterson at mid-on, and there's no run. 390 for 9. Could have taken a single, but Joe Leech doing it his own way, and mightily effective it's proved to be. He's 45 not out. Charlie Morris 3 not out at the non-striker's end. Lyndon James in once more. Nice looking shot, fielded by Patterson White in the covers, and there's no run.
I think we're going out everywhere.
You lucky people.
You lucky people.
Can you imagine Tommy Trinder then saying that to my mum and dad? He's a lovely baby. You lucky people. 390 for 9. Next ball from Lyndon James is on target, on the stumps, but well defended. So we're through, what, 4 balls in this over, I think? 4 dots. And now Stephen Mullaney, I'm sure, will consider bringing in the troops. Well, he hasn't as yet. So certainly the potential square of the wicket on the leg side. There's only Joe Clark saving one on the leg side. He's in a mid-wicket position, so there's a gap there, and I guess he could also just push and run pretty much anywhere on the offside as well. And instead it's run down to third man. Luke Fletcher's got a bit of work to do, a bit of ground to make up, and they're going to come back for 2. So Joe Leech just backing himself to be able to get a single from the final ball of the over here. He could have settled down at this end after 5 balls of the over and left Morris to play 1, but he doesn't. So now then, Lyndon, what are you going to bowl? Last ball of the over. Joe Leech has been able to take singles almost at will whenever he's wanted to get down the other end. He's on 47. Lyndon James bowls, and it is a little push and run. They've got to be quick. In comes the throw, and it's missed the stumps, and the exchange ends again, to the frustration of the Nottinghamshire side. 392 for 9. In fact, it's not gone up yet. It'll be 393 for 9. Now it does, and Leech is 48 not out.
That was close. If he'd have hit.
Push and run out there. The fielder was Joey Everson, the sub fielder. It was a little bit of a rush of blood, really, I thought, from Joe Leech. It was obvious what he was looking to do, get a push and run and go, but he hit it straight to Everson, and Charlie Morris might well have been short of his ground.
Percy the Pigeon, or is it Priscilla the Pigeon? We just don't know.
I think there's 2 of them actually.
He's back.
Keep taking it in turns, and it's when they're up there together that there's all the, do they call it billing and cooing?
Billing and cooing, yes.
Cooing going on.
Yeah. I'll get billing from the gas board, but no cooing. Here's Stephen Mullaney's going to start another over. A very long morning session now, it seems. We're programmed to go to lunch at 1 o'clock, and 10 past 1 is just no good. Leech waits, plays back up on the offside. Ben Duckett does the fielding. On another day they might have thought about a single. Umpire Warren at square leg raises his hat and wipes his hand across his brow. I don't think he's wiping sweat away, probably pushing his hair back under his hat. As Leech awaits the next delivery, and this time he's gone for a mighty blow, but it's gone square of the wicket, and they won't get a run. It's Ben Slater does the field. Talking of hair under hats, I do say that Hasib Hamid has suffered bit by lockdown hairdressers in short. He's got a great mane of hair, hasn't he? Saw him last night away. I thought, oh dear.
The great revelation last year was when Keaton Jennings came to Trent Bridge and took his cap off.
Here's the next ball from Mulaney, played out on the offside, no run.
He's always very closely cropped, both for England and for Durham.
Yeah.
But last year he came to Trent Bridge and whipped his cap off, and well, it was like Marrow and Fellaini. Unbelievable.
Here is Stephen Mulaney coming in, and he's bowling, and this is Joe Leech who's batting, and he's pushing the ball down the ground. Mulaney himself does the fielding. This stands so far for Worcestershire worth, what, 38 runs, but it's taken nearly 17 overs to gain those 38 runs. The field closes in. I was calling this earlier cat and mouse, but I think both the cat and the mouse might have given it up by now. Mulaney bowls, Leech smashes it, but straight to cover point, where Slater is the fielder. So this is the point in the intriguing contest, where Joe Leech will try and get a single. Although Charlie Morris has faced 32 balls for his 3 runs, so I think he might have played himself in by now. Here's the next delivery from Mulaney, and this one does go away through the covers for 4, and Joe Leech will go to 50. He goes to 52. I don't think he got a half century last season. In fact, it may be some time since he last did get one, so we'll have a look, and we'll get the statisticians onto that one. So with that boundary, Worcestershire go to 397 for 9. And we're having a sanitation break. This game, which was going at a good rate, is now slowed right down to a meandering rate. Where is he? Joe Leech last season, he only got 47 runs in the whole season. Although it was, of course, in 5 innings, it was a reduced season. So I would have to have the book for the season before, which is not in my possession at the moment. Anyway, they've done the hands. The boys have washed their hands before lunch.
We always say half an hour, but it's actually 8 overs.
It is. Delay.
Yeah. So even if they take their time in sanitising their hands, they've still got to bowl the 8 overs, or there'll be no more than 8 overs before they go off for lunch. 397 for 9, been a good effort from Worcestershire. Fabulous opening partnership, and Notts fought back to 16 for 7. At the lower order, led by Joseph and Barnard, and now Leech, got Worcestershire up to the brink of 400. Here's Lyndon James. In rolling to Charlie Morris, so the potential for a full over at Charlie Morris here for Nottinghamshire. He's defended the first ball, got some company around him. Lyndon James' first over went for 3 runs. Here's James in again to the right-handed Morris, who plays it straight back along the track and fielded on the cuts out the middleman, doesn't it? Saves all the
yeah.
throwing to the keeper and then all the way back, and then to Liam Patterson-White, who's the ball polisher.
Just
hit it straight back to the bowler and get on with it.
Quite pleased that I'm not trying to explain this to an American visitor as to what is going on.
Lyndon James polls.
Or even to my wife, to be honest.
If you've got a clue what's going on, can you let me know? Mulaney fields this time.
Is he not supposed to hit the ball? There's a lovely story. Michael Parkinson shared a taxi with an American woman going to Lord's, and she was a guest of somebody. She said, explain this game to me, Mr. Parkinson. So he did, on a 15-minute taxi journey. And as she got out, and she said, gee, they do that on horseback?
397 for 9. Morris again, very correct in defence, blocks the ball. Lunch happening everywhere, or here at New Road.
Getting hungry now.
377 for 6. Durham at lunch 388 for 6. Warwickshire 75 for 2 against Essex. Next ball from Lyndon James again is defended. Hampshire 376 for 5 against Gloucestershire, batting on. Somerset 157 for 4 against Leicestershire. Middlesex 176 for 5 against Surrey. Lancashire 350 for 7 against Kent. Northants 17 for 2. Glamorgan earlier out for 407. And Sussex 212 for 8. They're the lunchtime scores of the batting sides. 397 for 9. The next ball is defended. Strange, all sorts of people keep appearing at the window wanting to speak to you, Dave. Totally oblivious to the fact you've got headphones on and a microphone.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people who know what I do ring me up when we're playing cricket. Just look at the score somewhere. How many overs were gone when we should have gone to lunch?
That's the thing, isn't it? Well, it's now about 17, 18 minutes past 1, so we'll assume about 4 have elapsed. I think we'll pretty much know when they're going to lunch, when they actually troop off.
When they go. Off you go, lads.
Be a bit galling for Nottinghamshire, I guess, if they've got to come back out 10 past 2 and they're still bowling. And that's going to be the target now for Joe Leech and for Charlie Morris.
Yeah.
Tom Moores is going up to the stumps.
Here's Steve Mullaney starting a new over from the Diglis end. Bowls. Leech whips this one away to the leg side. Hasib Hamid gets down to his right. That may well have only been the single there anyway, but if he hadn't got there, then there would have been some work for the man way out on the boundary. Who is that way out there? It
might be Joey Everson.
Oh yeah,
no, it's Liam Patterson-White. It's Liam.
Oh right, yeah, he's
closer to the cathedral than he is to us.
He certainly is. Next ball driven by Leech away through the offside and not taking a single there. That was a flowing cover drive, and Ben Slater on there the boundary was quick to it, but
actually it's not as close as it appears. The cathedral, is it? There's the river running between it and the ground.
It's elevated, so it looks closer. Next ball is played by Leech, back down the pitch. I suppose one of the closest, there's the church at Taunton, isn't it? Which the churchyard backs onto the back of the ground. It's about the nearest church to a ground I can think of.
The ball often gets hit into the graveyard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
St James, is it?
Next ball, Leech has smashed this one away once again through the covers. Once again, not going for a run. Oh, if there was a crowd in now, they'd be going, "Oh, with it. What's the matter with you? Why don't you run?" All right, field closes in because there's 2 balls remaining of the over. I'm actually feeling a bit hungry now. So
Charlie Morris has faced 38 balls.
Yeah. For 3 runs.
It's a good effort when you're being protected by the batsman at the other end, really, to face 38 balls.
Yeah. Was it 112 overs ago when they came together, so they've been together for 18 overs, which is just over 100 balls, so he's faced a third of them. Oh, do excuse me. Mullaney bowls, and Leech goes big on this one, and he smashed that one away for...
Oh, yeah, the ball's gone for lunch.
6, yeah. That's gone into the seating at the end of the D'Oliveira stand.
It's 400 up.
400 indeed comes up for Worcestershire. Leech goes to 58. And he really did flay into that one. Apologies for the sneeze halfway through my sentence. Crept up on me. Mullaney in again, and Leech this time drives away through the offside. And
better shot in many respects. 4 runs through extra cover.
4 runs through extra cover. I must admit, I'd completely lost the flight of the ball there. Yeah,
it was on the ground. It was a textbook shot.
So 10 runs off the last 2 balls. Worcestershire 407 for 9, and on we go.
Feel sorry for the young man or young lady at the ECB that's going to be tasked with popping the highlights on their Twitter feed this evening, and we've got that big blow from Joe Leech to a backdrop of Bradders sneezing. 407 for 9. Looks as if Zach Chappell is coming back to bowl the 132nd over.
I have information.
Well,
I asked the question. Whatever happens, I think we've got 3 overs till lunch. I think we go to lunch at the end of the 134th if Worcestershire is still batting.
18 more deliveries.
Yeah. I'm hungry.
I don't think there's any sign of any food as yet, so...
Perhaps they are waiting till they come off.
or perhaps there isn't any.
Oh! No! No, that cannot be. I had breakfast at 7 o'clock this morning. Right, who's coming on here? Zach Chappell's coming on.
Yeah.
I said, well, by the way this game is meandering, another 3 overs will take us till about 4 o'clock, I reckon.
He's going to be bowling to Charlie Morris. What would you suggest he bowls here? He's got a Seba Mead in there, about 4 paces away at short leg.
He's going to stick it in his ribs, I think, isn't he?
Got Slater or Duckett in close at the other side. It's Ben Slater. Silly point. And it's just chopped away to backward point where Liam Patterson-White is. 17 balls until Bradders comes to lunch.
Well, I presume it's 134 overs gone. It'll be. Well, it's according to Sue, the scorer, so she knows about these things. It was 126 at 1 o'clock, apparently.
We've had 100 runs this morning. Was 305 for 7 overnight. Next ball is forced again out by Morris. Now we've got some billing and cooing going on.
Perhaps they haven't had their lunch either. Percy and Priscilla. I don't think there are any chicks up there yet, are there?
I don't know. I think a hose pipe is needed.
What, do they need a shower?
That'd sort them out. 407 for 9. It's Chappell. Attacking field set by Knotts, but Morris is again able to resist.
You'll have the twitchers onto you, mate, if you start doing that. You ever do anything with John Lees, their old John?
Oh, yes.
Down at Sussex. John was
yes.
a big twitcher.
Very much.
And he would disappear to the Outer Hebrides to see a lesser spotted swoop eagle or something.
You couldn't say the seagulls were coming over. It would be the exact particular type of fulmer that landed on the ground or was attacking the press box. It wouldn't be a seagull. Next ball is a bouncer, ducked underneath by Morris and taken by Tom Moores, diving at full length. 407 for 9. Leech 62, Morris 3. Been out this morning. Joseph for 61 and Ed Barnard for 58. Terrific contributions from 8, 9 and 10 in the order. .407 for 9. Century for Jake Libby yesterday. Here's Zach Chappell, the bouncer, ducked underneath by Morris. So what have we got? 1 ball left in the over. Not really troubled Charlie Morris. Apparently there's been a T20 international between Zimbabwe and Pakistan today, and Zimbabwe have beaten Pakistan for the first time, having lost the 15 previous meetings.
Blimey.
407 for 9. Leech 62. Morris has 3. Final ball of this Chappell over. Worked away on the leg side. It's a maiden for Zach Chappell, but don't really think Worcestershire will mind that one little bit. 2 overs remain until they'll troop off for lunch. Unless Knotts get the wicket.
I think the chef's gone home. He's given up.
Play, assuming we go all the way, they'll still have the 40-minute luncheon interval, folks. So play will restart. Well, we're going to be hitting 2:15 at the moment. 407 for 9. Penultimate over of the session is going to be Lyndon James, who's been switched to the far end. Bowled, did he bowl a couple of overs from this end? He's replacing Mullaney. Lyndon James 2 overs, none for 3 from the hotel end. Now going to his first spell from the Diglis end. The field is spread.
It is. There's nobody within, well, apart from the bowler and the wicket-keeper, nobody within 40 yards of the batsman, 50 yards maybe. Leech crashes this one right to the offside. Surely there's 2 there. It's gone out to, well, it's just gone through Powick and into Malvern Link, that one. It was way out in the mid-off boundary, but there you go. Worcestershire's highest last wicket stand, by the way, against Nottinghamshire is 103. Kabir Ali and G.D. McGrath at New Road in the year 2000.
I've heard of him.
Next ball, this is away, slightly edgish, but all along the ground, out towards the boundary, where Ben Slater is the fielder. No run. He's actually there's nobody to throw it back to the bowler, really. There's no mid-off and mid-on. They're all long off and long on.
This is probably why they could have got 2 at the start of the over.
I think they could have done it there, couldn't they? There we are.
Big responsibility on Lyndon James really to get back to the stumps, gather the ball and execute a run out.
407 for 9. Worcestershire. Joe Leech on 62 waits, and this is worked away to mid-wicket. Ooh, good job there's no crowd. There's a puff of dust comes up on the far side of the ground where they're working on the car park over there. It's some sort of a machinery. You hear the noise of that in the background. Might have a walk around there one day just to see what they're doing.
Who's this going off for a net? Somebody heading off for a net.
Here's James' next ball, and this time Leech drives 2 long on and takes a single. Partnership so far is worth 53, came together at 355 for 9. And this morning Worcestershire have added 103 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. I say this morning, but we are well into the afternoon now. 132.4 overs have been bowled. That cloud of dust is actually spreading onto the field, I think. Who's that? Liam Patterson-Whiting was fielding out there. I think he's quite pleased to have...
He wants his face mask on.
He will, yeah. Dust stops play at New Road. Digger stops play at New Road. 408 for 9.
This is the penultimate over, we think.
We think. James bowls to Morris, digs this one out, away on the onside. I suppose from a Nottinghamshire opener's point of view, you might think to yourself, if Worcestershire's 10 and 11 can bat for this long on this pitch, we might be all right. Got some close fielders now. Short leg, silly mid-off, forward short leg, you could say. James in, bowls, Morris dabs the bat on it. Another over has clicked by. We just look and see if there's movement off the field. I presume the players are aware that it will be the 134th over. Nobody's asked the question as yet. And of course, as Dave was saying, if they go for lunch, it'll be a full luncheon interval. So if they were to go off now, it would be post 2 o'clock before we resumed.
If a wicket went in this over as well, we wouldn't lose any, would we? But
No.
if we come back out again and then the wicket falls, then we would lose
Well,
2 overs in the changeover.
I thought of a declaration at lunch. Maybe not.
Just the mess about factor, isn't it? Make the openers come out and field for a little bit and only have 10 minutes to get themselves ready. Here's Zach Chappell then. Final over of the session. Short, pulled away by Leech. Played it nicely along the ground. Doesn't take the single. Joe Clark doing the fielding, and again, as Brad said, last time he's got nobody to throw it to, so he's waiting until Zach Chappell walking back. Oh dear, that's the last thing that Chappell wanted. It was a throw that was intended just to reach in one bounce, and of course it didn't bounce on the softish outfield, so he has to bend down and pick it up. Here's Chappell in again. Second ball of the over is played out onto the offside to Hamid. There's no run, and Hamid now has the problem of who to throw it to, or how he's going to get it back to Zach Chappell.
Oh, I've got to do an update. Well, the Worcestershire innings goes on and on. We should have gone to lunch at 1 o'clock, but because 9 wickets are down, the lunch interval has been pushed back, and Joe Leech, the Worcestershire skipper, has moved on to 63. Charlie Morris has 3. He has definitely been the silent partner in this stand, worth 53 so far for the last wicket. 305 for 7 at the start of play this morning. Worcestershire lost Alzari Joseph for 61, ending a stand of 114, with Ed Barnard, who followed for 58. At the moment, Leech has 63, Morris has 3, and Worcestershire are 408 for 9.
Chappell bowls. Latest deliveries pulled out to deep mid-wicket, where Joe Clark on the fumble does the fielding, and then he just, how you describe that, just flops the ball back to Zach Chappell.
So the field's not coming in.
No. 2 balls left in the over. Just trying to prevent Leech from having a free hit to the ropes, maybe. There's Chappell to bowl to the Worcestershire captain, who's content just to block it, and you'd imagine he'll take a single from the last ball if he's able to. So 305 for 7 at the start of the day. Alzari Joseph out for 61, falling to Zach Chappell, just chipping up a catch to Joe Clark, fairly close in on the leg side, and then Ed Barnard, he'd also passed 50, he went for 58, caught behind by Moores off the bowling of the spinner Liam Patterson-White. Chappell bowls, and they will take a single this time. So 409 for 9 as we look to see if the bails are flipped off. They are indeed, and that will be lunch here at New Road, with Worcestershire 409 for 9. Joe Leech 64 not out. Charlie Morris 3 not out. Wickets to Chappell and Patterson-White in the session, but again it's a session that has to go down in the books, I think, as belonging to the home side. 409 for 9, and barring an unlikely declaration, Leech and Morris will do it all again in 40 minutes time, and I hope you'll come back and join us then.
Very often you go to lunch with 50 overs left in the day's play. Yes, we'll be back. Where are we now? We're at 1:35, so add 40 minutes on there. We'll be at 2:15. We will resume here. Please join us then. For the moment, from New Road, for Dave and myself, we wish you a good afternoon.